Hello everyone. So I welcome you to a very important video, that is Current Affairs Master Class. It is important because it is covering 4 pillars of current affairs. It will cover international relations, it will cover topics of science and technology, art and culture and history, and government schemes. So together it will cover a very large chunk of your prelims paper. So without any further delay, let's start our pillar 1, that is international relations. In international relations also, we will try to study all the important organizations which were in news and which are important based on the PYQ themes. Apart from it, we will also cover some of the important relations which were in news and important countries which were in news. In science and technology, we will try to cover the basics as well of space sector and the important missions. We will cover the defense technology. We will cover the important emerging technologies, nanotechnology, important things related to our biology as well. And then in art and culture, the two most important pillars, Jainism and Buddhism, Bhakti movements, and the important saints, stupas, classical dances, then paintings, UNESCO, and what all the elements have included, tangible, intangible, you must be knowing about it, and recent art and culture related current affairs. Then some of the most important government schemes which haven't been covered in the previous lectures. Okay, so I have bifurcated them as well. Now let's start the pillar 1, that is international relation. So we will start with the United Nations and principal organs. This is something which is most important out of all the organizations. Now let's see the quick facts. UN was established in 1945 on the wake of the World War II with the UN Charter, and originally there were 51 member states. Purpose was to maintain international peace and security and develop friendly relations among nations. Main idea was that there shouldn't be anything like World War II. No? There shouldn't be any World War III. And achieve international cooperation, be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations, so that there is not such friction in the future as well. The headquarters is in New York City, USA, and current members have grown from 51 to now 193. The principal organ is UNGA, that is United Nations General Assembly, which was established in 1945 itself, and all 193 members are part of it. It is main deliberative and policy making organ, and it releases reports like World Happiness Report, Global SDG Report. Okay. So your World Happiness Report also stays in news, and I have included the reports along with the organization so that you don't have to go and read it again. Okay. The specific organization which releases is UN Sustainable Development Solution Network, which is part of this only. Along with it, Wellbeing Research Center at the University of Oxford, they both release it. More than 140 countries are included in World Happiness Report. Then we have UNSC. So it has 15 members, 5 are permanent, which are called as P5. China, France, Russia, UK, and USA. They have veto power. Then we have 10 non-permanent members, which are elected for 2 years terms. India has been elected 8 times. Most recent term was 2021 to 2022. They also release the reports like an annual report on children in armed conflict. This is an important report released by UNSC. Now we have Economic and Social Council. Okay. So 1945, New York, 54 members selected by the General Assembly, coordinates work of 15 UN specialized agencies and 5 commissions and 5 regional commissions. And they are also involved in reports, annual economic and social survey. So these are the parent organization. Within that also we have smaller organization. When you read the reports, so you know that those specific names, and I'm highlighting that as well, which is not given in the notes. Secretariat is in 1945. And we have Chief as Secretary General. Currently, Antonio Guterres was there. Okay, and it provides studies and information for UN meetings. Key report is Secretary General's annual report. Okay, then we have ICJ, International Court of Justice, which is in The Hague, Netherlands. 15 judges are elected by the General Assembly and Security Council for 9-year terms. Settles legal dispute between states, gives advisory opinions. India's Dalveer Bhandari has been a judge since April 2012, re-elected 2017. And they work on reports of judgments, advisory opinions, and orders. Then we have Trusteeship Council in headquartered in New York, inactive since 1994 after independence of Palau. That was a last trust territory. India was instrumental in decolonization effort through this body, specifically in Africa. India played an important role. Now, non-principal UN bodies like UN peacekeeping, which are also called as blue helmets. So first mission was in 1948, and it is mission specific. It is a multi-member body. India is one of the largest contributor of troops to UN peacekeeping mission. We have UN Human Rights Council, established 2006, Geneva, and we have 47 member states. There is 3-year terms elected by General Assembly by secret ballot. India has served multiple terms advocating balanced and non-politicized approaches, replaced the UN Commission on Human Rights. We have, if you see the geographic distribution, so 13 will come from Africa, 13 from Asia Pacific, then LATAM countries 8, West Europe 7, and East Europe 6. Okay. So this is the distribution. UN Conference on Trade and Development. LATAM is countries group which consists of Mexico, Central America, South America, etc. Okay. UNCTAD, established in 1964, Geneva, 195 member states. India is actively participating and it focuses on needs of developing countries. Key report is Trade and Development Report. Okay. So these reports also, sometimes one report will come. Majority of the time, one report they ask. And these are low-hanging fruits. So one-liner, you know, you don't know, you don't know. Okay. Then we have UN Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, established in 1947, Bangkok, Thailand. Okay. And 53 members are there and 9 associate members. India hosts events and contribute to regional policy dialogue. They released the report Economic and Social Survey of Asia and the Pacific. And then we have UN Global Supply Chain Forum. 2021, the first forum happened and there is no fixed headquarter. It rotates. It is open to member states, private sectors and academia. India promoted resilient supply chains, especially relevant during the COVID-19 pandemic when the supply chain system was disrupted entirely. Now we have to see the comparison between the International Criminal Court and International Court of Justice because it is important for your examination. So International Criminal Court, the purpose is to prosecute individuals for international crimes. However, ICJ is to resolve dispute between states, advises on international law. ICC, the jurisdiction is for individuals only, here for states only. So International Criminal Court will deal with genocides, war crimes, crime against humanity, aggression. ICJ will be related to disputes on international law, treaties, etc. International Criminal Court was established with the Rome Statute, and ICJ has been established under UN Charter and international law. Membership, so ratifiers of the Rome Statute, 123 countries as of 2021, and all UN member states. India's involvement, so India is not a member, has not ratified the Rome Statute. Sovereignty concerns are there. In terms of ICJ, so it is an active participant. Indian judges serve on the court as well, as we have read one name as well. And ICC relies on state cooperation. And the ICJ judgments are enforced by Security Council if needed, not always. If needed is the main word. However, you see if even the ICJ verdicts are not in the place and they cannot force it down. Okay, we have seen the issue with 9-dash line, etc. Then we have how it will be enforced. Now, China is part of P5. Then we have Bretton Woods institutions. So Bretton Woods Conference happened in 1944 and World Bank Group was established. So Bretton Woods Conference at Mount Washington Hotel, New Hampshire, USA, attended by 45 allied nations. Key figure was Keynes, John Maynard Keynes and Harry Dexter White. Major outcome was establishment of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, which is important for examination, and the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, which is now known as World Bank. Okay. World Bank, because World Bank has many other organizations also, but these were primarily the predecessor. So International Bank for Reconstruction and Development was established in 1944. India is a member. It provides loan to middle income and credit-worthy low-income countries. Funds infrastructure and economic development. Then we have International Finance Corporation, established in 1956. India is a member. It supports private sector growth. Okay, that is the difference. It provides funding and advisory services to startups and small and medium enterprises. MSMEs. Then we have IDA, that is International Development Association. India is a member of it. Offer concessional loans and grants to the world's poorest countries. Targets poverty reduction and social development. Then we have Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MIGA. 1988 it was established. India is a member. And it provides political risk insurance to foster foreign direct investment, FDIs. We have International Center for Settlement of Investment Disputes, and India is not a member of it. So that is why it is important. Specializes in arbitration of investment disputes. India is not a member. If you see World Bank major shareholders, so USA is on the top. 16.41%, then Japan, then Germany, UK, France. India shares approximately 3% of the voting power. Now your question will be, what is the share of China? India has 3%, and what is the share of China? So before that, let's see what all indices they release it. Yeah. Since it fluctuates, the World Bank shareholding. So according to many reports, it is around 4.42%, older reports, but now it has, in the recent reports are telling that it is 5.7%. If we see the recent reports, then China should come above Germany, according to the recent reports which are coming. Okay, it has increased. The share refers to the voting power. You also verify it, but the reports I am getting is that according to recent reports, it has surpassed 5%. But some of the reports are citing the older things only, so they are telling that it is 4.42%. Still, it will be more than UK. Okay. The most important index which is released by the World Bank is Human Capital Index, and this is very, very important for examination. Then World Development Report, Ease of Doing Business, has been discontinued. International Monetary Fund, IMF, very, very important for examination. Headquarters in Washington, DC. The objective is monetary cooperation between the countries and to have exchange rate stability between different countries and provide financial support for balance of payments issues, promote employment and sustainable growth. So during the 1991 economic crisis, India secured a 2.2 billion loan and pledged 67 tons of gold. Now India is ranked 8th in the IMF quotas, and voting share is approximately 2.75%. Now there are different lending facilities. One is standby arrangement. So it provides for short term. If you need short term aid for balance of payment, this is one thing, standby, as the name suggests. This is something which will be provided. It requires policy adjustment as well. Then we have EFF, Extended Fund Facility. So it is for longer support, for comprehensive economic reforms. So if quickly needed, then we have SBA. If needed for long term, it is EFF. Then we have flexible credit lines for countries with strong economic fundamentals. This is accessible without ongoing conditions. And we have a rapid credit facility. So it provides immediate support for low income countries with minimum conditionality. Okay. Then we have IMF special drawing rights, which has been asked by UPSC many times in the examination, thus it is important. So special drawing rights supplements member countries' official reserve. It's not a currency, first of all. It is a valuation basket. And this is the ascending order of the various currencies which are in the basket. Japanese yen, then British pound, then Chinese renminbi, and then euro, and then US dollar. And it releases a very important report, that is World Economic Outlook, Global Financial Stability Report, and Fiscal Monitor Report. Okay. Then we have World Trade Organization, that is WTO. So it evolved from the General Agreements on Tariffs and Trade. Previously, there was GATT, which was established in 1947. Now the current organization started from 1995. Headquarters is Geneva, Switzerland, and member countries that keeps on increasing and decreasing as well. As of 2021, there were 164 member countries, and now also I think it stands on 164 only. However, these things are not important for examination. Such facts, these are important for PCS, and almost 98% of the global trade is represented through WTO. India is a founding member since 1995 and actively engages in shaping and utilizing WTO frameworks. There are some key principles and boxes which you need to remember. This is important for your prelims. The first thing is most favored nation, MFN. So no member can be treated less advantageously than any other in the trade. Second is national treatment. That is, imported and locally produced goods must receive equal treatment. Thirdly, transparency. Members must publish trade regulations and notify WTO about policy changes. Amber box, blue box, green box, because of the agriculture subsidy, and there are so many tussles between the developed and developing world. So amber box is domestic subsidies considered to distort production and trade. Blue box, subsidies with production limiting programs, not considered to distort trade if conditions met. And green box is subsidies that do not distort trade or cause minimal distortion. Okay, so amber will be causing the maximum. Blue box, if conditions met, then it is not considered to distort trade, and green though it doesn't distort trade. So what becomes the ground for tussle is amber box subsidies. India's agriculture subsidy also is under tussle. That also is going on, and trade talks are going on after. But WTO as a body also became a bit dysfunctional because of the dispute settlement body. Then there are agreements. So there is agreement on agriculture, which wants to reform global agriculture market, reduce trade distortion. India protect food security. It provides MSP and it is under WTO subsidy classification. So India's MSP comes under which box of subsidy? That's very, very important. Okay. Just pause it and tell. Pause it. Important for your examination. Okay. Come to General Agreement on Trade in Services. So it regulates international trade in services across 4 modes of supply. India is major exporter under mode 1, that is cross-border supply, information technology. We are a big exporter of IT, and mode 4, that is movement of natural person. Okay. Then we have agreement on trade-related aspects of intellectual property, TRIPS. It's important agreement. So it establishes minimum standards for intellectual property regulations. It led to changes in India's patent law as well. Process to produce patents. India uses compulsory licensing under Doha Declaration to manufacture generic drugs. Then we have some safeguards as well, like anti-dumping. So it is imposed when foreign goods sold before fair market price. So if foreign goods are sold and it is sold before fair market price, then anti-dumping duty will come. Like India imposed anti-dumping duties on Chinese steel imports in 2015. Outcome was WTO upheld India's right. Then we have countervailing measures. So it is different because here they are offsetting subsidies given by foreign governments to exporters. So India then challenged the US solar panel subsidies at WTO. India lost. WTO ruled in favor of USA. Here they are offsetting subsidies given by foreign governments to exporters. Previously, it is imposed anti-dumping when, say for example, fair price is 100 and they are selling it 90 rupees, dumping to in the different country. It's a kind of a predatory pricing. So that first they kill the competition and then they rule it. You must have seen it happening in India, right? China does it most often. Then we have safeguard measures, so temporary tariffs on sudden import surges, and which harming the domestic industries. Okay. India imposed safeguards duties on Chinese solar panels. WTO allowed India safeguard duties. And we have peace clause, so temporary protection for developing nations breaching subsidy limits. So we need to have a common but differentiated responsibility kind of thing in trade as well. India's food stockpile programs introduced at Bali to protect India in 2013. Since we have a massive population and food security is one of the ingredients, so we need to have certain relief. So peace clause was introduced because of it. Then we have development banks and financial bodies. So these has been already asked by UPSC in the previous year questions. The first is Asian Development Bank. So what is the objective? So Asian Development Bank, as the name suggests, development. So it wants to promote economic growth and cooperation in Asia Pacific. So headquarters is in Manila in the Philippines, one of the island countries. We have 68 members, 49 regional and 19 non-regional. So non-regional means not belonging to this region. We have USA as well. So if they say that all the countries, member countries are from Asia, then it is a wrong statement. India is one of the Asian Development Bank's largest borrowers. So you see there is Delhi Meerut Regional Rapid Transport System or Bangalore Metro. We have borrowed from them. Japan and USA hold approximately 15.6% and they are one of the highest. They are the highest, and India holds approximately 6.3%. That is 4th largest shareholder. So this is important for your examination. Now let's see the strategy 2030. It aligns ADB operations with emerging challenges, which are climate change, obviously, and urbanization. That too, rapid urbanization and urban sprawl, slumification. So it targets $80 billion in climate financing from 2019 to 2030. And there is an important report that it releases, that is Asian Development Outlook. Then we have FATF, and it was so much in news because of the Pakistan and the stance taken by FATF. So it was established in 1989 by the G7 to combat the money laundering. Headquarters is in Paris, France. Members are 39 members, including most major financial centers. India joined as a full member in 2010. India has never been on the grey list or black list. So implications, so it signals commitment to resolve identified deficiencies, Blacklist means there is severe compliance failures. Grey list means it is telling there are commitment which are lacking to resolve identified deficiency. They are trying to commit it, but still there is a deficiency. Blacklist means severe compliance failures are there. And when any country is in grey list, so monitoring enhances and support also from FATF. But when it comes in blacklist, then it becomes potential for international sanctions. Not that it comes under blacklist naturally, it comes under international sanctions. Potential is a keyword here. Purpose is to encourage resolutions of deficiencies, and they will show that yes, we are trying to strengthen the structure inside our nation. In blacklist, protect international financial system by warning of risk. Sanctions, so in grey list, no immediate economic sanctions, it is just under scrutiny. Blacklist, there is a risk of economic sanctions and financial isolations as well. Examples are countries improving anti-money laundering or counter-financing of terrorism, measures under FATF supervision, they are trying to do it. Blacklist, countries like North Korea and Iran with major deficiencies are included in blacklist. Then we have key multilateral financial bodies. NDB, New Development Bank, or a BRICS bank, established in 2014. In Shanghai, China, the headquarters is. Objective is infrastructure financing in BRICS and emerging economies and sustainable development. India's role, so India's voting share is approximately 20%, equal with all BRICS members. Key projects, so Mumbai Metro, $300 million they provided. Delhi Ghaziabad Meerut RITS, Bihar rural roads, rural employment loans. New members are Bangladesh, UAE, Egypt in 2023. Then we have Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, that is US-led in 2022, they established, and no permanent headquarter. It wanted to strengthen economic cooperation, trade, clean energy, supply chains, and anti-corruption. India opted out of the trade pillar, but supports supply chain resilience and anti-corruption measures. There are 14 member countries. Build Back Better, that is G7-led, established in 2021, no permanent headquarter. This was just to counter the China's BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, infrastructure funding for developing nations. India partners for transparent and sustainable infrastructure. Members are G7, USA, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Canada, Japan. These are the G7 countries. We have Blue Dot Network, 2019, USA, Japan, and Australia. So it certifies infrastructure projects for sustainability and transparency, again trying to establish an alternative to China's BRI. India supports high standard global infrastructure projects. We have OECD, established in 1961, headquarters in Paris, France. It tries to coordinate between countries with respect to economic policy and trade liberalization. India is a key partner, but not a member. That's important, not a member. Key partner, but not a member. Collaborates on taxation and economic policy. Recent addition was Latvia, Colombia, Costa Rica, etc. in 2020-21. This has been asked by UPSC previously in a PYQ. Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, 2015, and Beijing, China is the headquarters. It aims to provide infrastructure funding in Asia and beyond as well. India's voting share is 7.6%, second largest after China. Chennai Metro, Mumbai Urban Transport were some of them funded by the AIIB. New members, UAE and Libya in 2024. Then we have BIS, which we have read in economics as well. Headquarters is in Basel, Switzerland. And it oversees the global monetary stability and financial regulation. RBI represents India in global financial risk monitoring. We have Financial Stability Board. So 2009, Basel, Switzerland. It ensures financial stability and crisis prevention. India represented by RBI, Security and Exchange Board of India, and Ministry of Finance. Voting share in major multilateral financial institution. IMF, India share is 2.75%, and the top shareholder is USA, number 1. Okay, as of 2024-25. World Bank, US is again top, India is 3.2%. Capital-based voting system is there. Here, quota-based, reflecting economic size. New Development Bank, equal for all BRICS, 20% each. Egalitarian voting. Asian Development Bank, Japan, and USA are at number 1. Then comes China, then India. Shared leadership between Japan and USA, and Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, China is number 1, then India, then Russia, then Germany. India is second largest, okay, then with 7.6%. Then other UN-related organizations like ILO, so it was established in 1919, headquarters is Geneva, and there are 187 member states. India is a founding member and has ratified many important ILO convention, but not convention number 87, that is freedom of association, or number 98, right to collective bargaining. There are important reports which are released by ILO. That one is World Employment and Social Outlook, which is very, very important. Then we have World Health Organization, 1948, headquarters in Geneva, 194 member states. India's collaboration significant in eradicating polio, and enhancing public health infrastructure. And the World Health Statistics is the important report. We have ITLOS, that is International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, headquartered in Hamburg, Germany. It adjudicates disputes under the UNCLOS. And India has engaged ITLOS for maritime disputes in the past as well. We have Universal Postal Union, very old organization, 1874, headquartered in Bern, Switzerland, and we have more than 190 member states. So it is facilitating international postal cooperation. India uses the regulations of UPU for cross-border postal service, and we have postal development report that is released by UPU. We have Interpol, you must have heard about it. International Criminal Police Organization, 1923, that quarter is aligned France. It facilitates cross-border police cooperation. India uses Interpol's network for combating terrorism and drug trafficking. Interpol, you must have heard Red Notice. It is crucial for India in tracking and extraditing fugitives. We have made regulations as well, fugitive economic offender. Then we have UNESCO, headquarters is in Paris, France. India actively participates in cultural heritage preservation and education programs. We have Global Education Monitoring Report, which is released by the UNESCO. And Geneva Convention. So it was adopted initially in 1949. There are 4 major Geneva Conventions. Purpose is to establish standard of international humanitarian law for the protection of individuals not participating in hostilities, civilian health workers, wounded or captured military personnel. So the first, it protects wounded and sick soldiers on land during war. Second, wounded, sick, and shipwrecked military personnel at sea during war. Third was prisoner of war and their treatment standards. Fourth, civilian persons in times of war. So Protocol 1, which came in 1977, victims in international armed conflicts, including civilians and combatants who have let down arms. Protocol 2, victims in non-international armed conflicts, civil wars, human treatment of detained person. And Protocol 3, which came in 2005, introduced a new distinctive emblem, the red crystal, alongside red cross and red crescent. India's status, India has ratified all 4 Geneva Conventions. India has not ratified Protocols 1 and 2. The conventions are incorporated into Indian law through the Geneva Convention Act of 1960. So India has not ratified the Protocols 1 and 2 is something which is very, very important for your prelims examination. G7, that is Group of 7, so it's got established in 1975. It was originally called as the Library Group of Finance Ministers, formed in response to the 1973 oil crisis. Members, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, and USA. There is no fixed headquarter, meeting hosted annually by the members holding the rotating presidency. It tries to address major economic policy and international security, focuses on global health, climate change, and gender equality. India is not a member, but regularly invited to participate, particularly in outreach sessions on climate and global health. There is a Sherpa process. So personal representatives or leaders, Sherpas, prepare the agenda and negotiate agreements before summits. Then we have G20, so which was established in 1999 in response to the Asian financial crisis of the late 1990s. Presidency rotates. Temporary secretariat located in the presidency country. Members are 19 largest economy, European Union, African Union, Spain, the permanent guest. Spain is permanent guest. So the countries are Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, UK, and the US. Okay, these are the countries because previously it has been asked. I'm repeating again. Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, South Korea, Turkey, UK, and the USA. So summit structure is that leaders summit, the head of state comes there, and meeting of finance ministers and central bank governors also is done on the sidelines. And then we have Troika system, current system. Current, previous, and upcoming host countries ensures continuity of agenda. This is called as Troika system. India hosted the G20 presidency in 2023, focusing on inclusive, resilient, and sustainable growth. We have a Global Biofuel Alliance launched by India at G20 2023. Members 7 G20 countries: Argentina, Brazil, USA, India, Italy, South Africa, and there are one more country. Okay, that is Global Biofuel Alliance. When it came in 2023, it was more and more important. 4 G20 invitee countries, 8 non-G20 countries, and 12 international organizations, including World Bank, Asian Development Bank, World Bank, World Economic Forum, International Energy Agency. Okay, so currently 25 countries and 12 international organizations are member of it. BRICS. B stands for Brazil, R stands for Russia, I for India, C for China, S for South Africa. So conceptualized earlier, but first formal summit happened in 2009. Conceptualized earlier. No permanent secretariat. Chairmanship rotates annually. Original members: Brazil, Russia, China, India, South Africa. 2023 expansion. Now we have Egypt as well, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Argentina declined membership after change of government. This is something which is important. Then we have NDB, which is headquartered in Shanghai, and we have already seen that it wants to mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development. There is a important term, contingent reserve arrangement. So it is a framework for providing liquidity support to BRICS members facing short-term balance of payment pressures. Then it aims for de-dollarization. So process of countries reducing dependency on US dollar for trade and financial transaction, actively discussed within BRICS. India has hosted BRICS summit multiple times. Strong proponent of counterterrorism cooperation within the BRICS countries. The Quad. So members are Australia, India, Japan, USA. Conceptualized back in 2007, but reinvigorated in 2017. There is no permanent headquarters. Cooperative meetings across member countries. Objective is maritime security, counter-terrorism, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief. Critical in emerging technologies, cyber security, supply chain resilience, vaccine diplomacy, climate change. There is joint military exercise like Malabar exercise. India, USA, Japan, Australia participates in it. China views the Quad with suspicion, perceiving it as an attempt to contain its rise. We have AUKUS, that is Australia, UK, and US. It was established in 2021. Purpose is enhanced Indo-Pacific security through shared advanced technology and defense capabilities. The pillar one is Australia to acquire conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarines. Pillar 2 is advanced technology like AI, cyber, quantum, and undersea capabilities. Recent development is that they have working on hypersonic missiles, electronic warfare capabilities, and advanced military technology sharing. India is not a member. Monitors AUKUS development for strategic implication. Official position is non-interference of India. We have SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, established in 2001, building on the Shanghai 5 group formed in 1996. Headquartered in Beijing, China. Members are 10. China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Iran, full members in 2023. Belarus, full members since 2024. Okay, purpose is to promote regional security, political stability, and economic cooperation in Eurasia. Then we have important organization under SCO, that is RATS, Regional Anti-Terrorist Structure. Key focus for addressing security threats. India utilizes SCO to enhance economic and security ties with Central Asian countries and to engage with China and Pakistan multilaterally in the SCO. We have ASEAN, which was established in 1967. Headquarters in Jakarta, Indonesia. Members are 10. Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam. Then we have India's Act East policy, which emphasizes strategic relationship with ASEAN countries with respect to connectivity, economic partnership, and cultural ties. India is a dialogue partner. Asian community, we have 3 pillars: political security community, economic community, socio-cultural community. ASEAN plus 3 cooperation framework with China, Japan, and South Korea. East Asia Summit is there. So regional forum bringing together ASEAN, Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand, Russia, South Korea, and USA. ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific. So it is ASEAN's framework for Pacific engagement, emphasizing inclusivity, openness, and respect for international law. RCEP, so established in 2020, entered into force in January 2022. It is one of the world's largest free trade area. There are 15 countries, 10 ASEAN members, and Australia, China, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea. India withdrew in 2019. There are concerns like the domestic industry is not yet developed and it can expose it, specifically countries like China. Then we have especially cheap imports from China is a big concern. And to protect our agriculture also. ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement signed in 2009, Bangkok, entered into force in 2010, under formal review since February 2024. Then we have a Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, established in 2018, successor to the Trans-Pacific Partnership after US withdrawal. So members are Australia, Brunei, Canada, Chile, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, Vietnam, UK, joined in 2023. India is not a member, observes for economic implication, global trade norms. Then NATO. So North Atlantic Treaty Organization, established in 1949, headquarters is Brussels in Belgium. Member is 32 member countries like Albania, Belgium, Bulgaria, Canada, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Montenegro, Netherlands, North Macedonia, Norway, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, Turkey, United Kingdom, and United States. Okay. So these are the member states. Very difficult to cram, right? Okay. But even if you have a fair bit of idea, it will serve the purpose. Purpose is collective defense under Article 5. An attack on one is an attack on all. This is the most important part. It promotes democratic values and transatlantic cooperation. Enhanced forward presence in Eastern Europe after 2014 annexations of Crimea by Russia and 2022 invasion of Ukraine. India is not a NATO member, maintains an independent foreign policy and engages in select NATO initiatives on maritime security and counter-terrorism. Then there is Five Eyes Alliance. So origin traces to World War II, Atlantic Charter 1941, formalized as UK Agreement in 1946. Members are 5 countries: USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Purpose is air signal intelligence to enhance mutual security and defense. India is not part of Five Eyes, but engages bilaterally with members on counter-terrorism and cyber security. SAARC 1985, headquarters is Kathmandu, Nepal. Members are 8: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan. Okay. Last summits scheduled for 2016 Islamabad. Now, because of Indo-Pakistan tension, indefinitely postponed, and virtually this organization is now dead. Activities continue, but high-level meetings are infrequent. South Asian Free Trade Agreement, SAFTA, and SAARC development funds are key initiative. 11 SAARC recognized APEC bodies. Key areas were human resource development, agriculture, environment, natural disaster, economic and trade, social welfare, energy, transport, security, and culture. Then we have BIMSTEC, where there is Pakistan is not a member. This is something which you need to remember. 97, headquarters Dhaka, Bangladesh. 7 members are there: Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Thailand. There is no Afghanistan as well. Okay. Purpose is bridge South Asia and Southeast Asia, enhance cooperation in multiple sectors in the Bay of Bengal region. There are 7 pillars of cooperation. India leads the security pillar: trade, investment, transport, communication, energy, tourism, technology, fisheries, agriculture, public health, poverty alleviation, counter-terrorism, environment and disaster management, and people-to-people exchanges. There is BIMSTEC Energy Center established in Bengaluru. BIMSTEC Master Plan for Transport Connectivity is a key framework, increasingly viewed as more effective than SAARC due to focused sector-driven approach and harmonious interstate relations. And because of the Indo-Pakistan, the SAARC could not function. It was regional integration is their sectoral cooperation connecting South and Southeast Asia. Indo-Pak tension tha, there needs more resource allocation. Okay. There are cultural and historical ties. Economic growth could have been widened through this. Then we have Indian Ocean Rim Association, so established in 1997. Headquarters is in Ebene, Mauritius. Members are 23 member states and 9 dialogue partners, including India, Australia, Indonesia, South Africa, dialogue partners. Objective is to promote sustainable growth and balanced development in the Indian Ocean region through the increased cooperation and regional integration. Key focus is on, first is on blue economy, maritime security, sustainable utilization of marine resources, disaster risk management. India played a pivotal strategic role. It coordinates maritime surveillance and relief operations. And other key regional organizations like Commonwealth. 1931, conceptually it was formed and formalized in 1949, London, UK. 56 countries, mainly former British territories. India plays a crucial role, participates in Commonwealth of Government meetings. Focus is basically on youth engagement and sustainable development. Commonwealth Blue Charter on ocean governance. Then we have Gulf Cooperation Council, 1981, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. There are 6 Arab states like Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. India has strong trade and energy partnership with GCC, significant India's expatriate community in the region. Free trade agreement discussions are ongoing. Then Arab League, 1945, Cairo Protocol, Cairo, Egypt, it was formed. 22 countries, including Palestine. Palestine is part of Arab League. That's important. And India maintains observer status, closely monitors Arab League's decision affecting Middle Eastern geopolitics and oil supplies. Then we have EU, European Union. Maastricht Treaty, 1993. Brussels, Belgium is headquartered, 27 European countries. India is negotiating free trade agreement with EU. EU is an important trading partner and a significant source of FDI. EU Green Deal plan to achieve climate neutrality by 2015. Then we have AU, African Union, succeeded OAU, previous organization, and the headquarters is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. 55 member states. G20 permanent member since 2023, when India became the G20 president. Active in peacekeeping and conflict resolution, African Continental Free Trade Area, launched in 2021. India's strong South-South cooperation partnership. Then we have Organization of American States, 1948. Washington, D.C., USA, 35 member states, promotes democracy, human rights, security development across America. India holds the observer status here. Then we have Pacific Island Forum, 1971, SUA, Fiji, 18-member countries, significant emphasis on climate change. India engages via development aid, climate initiatives, technology transfer, and capacity buildings. Then some current affairs related to UNSC. There are reform groupings like L69 Group 2007, coalition of 40 plus developing nations, which wants to have a comprehensive reform of UNSC so that there is an equitable representation and transparency. Members include India, Brazil, Nigeria, South Africa. India is a prominent member, advocates for developing countries and permanent UNSC membership for emerging economies. Okay. Countries like Brazil should have represented India, largest democracy. G4 nations, early 2000s. So Brazil, Germany, India, Japan support each other's bids for development or having a permanent berth in UNSC. Uses this platform to enhance diplomatic ties, promotes mutual support for permanent UNSC seat. There is a coffee club which opposes it, specifically for India, Turkey, etc. is part of it. Coffee club for uniting for consensus. Counter bids for permanent seats by G4. Advocates for a more democratic UNSC reform without new permanent members. Members are Italy, Pakistan, Mexico, Turkey, and other Middle East power nation. India faces opposition from the Coffee Club. Then we have C10 Committee of 10, 2005 by African Union. So represent African interest in UNSC reform. Demands at least 2 permanent seats with veto and 5 non-permanent seats for African member, Algeria, Congo, Kenya, Nigeria, and there are rotating AO members. It supports Africa's representation aligned with India's foreign policy of strengthening African ties. We have some other grouping and frameworks like Colombo Security Conclave. So 2001 it was formed, rebranded in 2021. Purpose is to have enhanced maritime security cooperation in the Indian Ocean region. Members are India, Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius, Seychelles, Bangladesh is observer, and it tries to have maritime security, counter-terrorism, anti-trafficking, humanitarian assistance, and disaster relief. Agenda was expanded. Now transnational crime, cyber security, and ecological disasters are also included. Then we have India Indo-Pacific Economic Framework announced in May 2022 by USA. Purpose is to strengthen economic cooperation in the Indo-Pacific and promote sustainable and inclusive growth. There are 14 members: Australia, India, Japan, South Korea, USA, and ASEAN nation. 4 pillars are trade, supply chain resilience, clean economy, fair economy, that is anti-corruption. India participates but opted out of the trade pillar. And we have APEC, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation, established in 1989. Headquarters in Singapore. 21 members. Key initiative is Bogor goals, that is free and open trade, ease of doing business, digital economy. India is not a member and has applied for membership. Currently holds observer status. India can join as it is an independent economic entity. And we have Warsaw Pact or Warsaw Treaty Organization. So it was established in 1955, dissolved in 1991. Cold War Collective Defense Treaty among 8 communist states served as a counterbalance to NATO. Justified Soviet intervention in member states. Key event was Paraguay Spring, Czechoslovakia 1968. India's bilateral multilateral relations, let's see, which was in news. PEC Silica. So US-led India, India joined in February 2026. It is a US-led initiative. There are 12 members. USA, Australia, Greece, Israel, Japan, Qatar, Netherlands, Singapore, South Korea, UAE, UK, and India. Joined at India AI Summit, aims to build secure semiconductors and critical technology supply chains. Then we have Mineral Security Partnership, again US-led. 14 members are there. India is a member. Other countries are Australia, Canada, Finland, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Sweden, UK, EU, Norway. The agenda is secure and diversify critical mineral supply chains, reduce dependency on China. Chip 4 Alliance, it is again USA-led. Other countries are Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea, and is not a member. Joint R&D, talent development, export control coordination for semiconductor supply chains. Paris Club 1956-22, all OECD members. India is not a member because India is not a OECD member. Informal group of creditor nations providing debt relief solutions to countries unable to pay bilateral loans. Then we have Weimar Triangle 1991, contains Germany, France, and Poland. Obviously, India is not a member. Platform for political, cultural, and economic cooperation. Then some other organizations and corporations. India, Middle East, Europe corridor. So it was formalized in G20 Presidency of India 2023. Multimodal connectivity from India, Mumbai to UAE, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, or Israel, Haifa, then Greece, and then Europe. So 2 corridors. Eastern will be India to Arabian Gulf and northern to Arabian Gulf to Europe. Signatories were India, EU, France, Germany, Italy, Saudi Arabia, UAE, USA, currently disrupted due to Israel-Gaza war. Then we have partnership for global infrastructure and investment. So this is a G7 initiative to fund critical infrastructure in developing countries, public and private investment, intended as alternative to BRI of China. Build Back Better, though, we read. It aims to counter the China's BRI. Blue Dot Network also we read. Then we have Zangezur Corridor. So proposed transport corridor linking mainland Azerbaijan to the Nakhchivan through Armenia's Unique region. Objective is connect Baku port, Caspian Sea to Turkey's via Nakhchivan. Power of Siberia, two pipelines. So Russia-China deal signed, carries natural gas from West Siberia to northern China via Eastern Mongolia. It was formerly known as Atal Pipeline. Altal Pipeline, sorry. Okay, not Altai Pipeline is the name. Existing power of Siberia and Eastern Siberia to China, operational since 2019. Then we have Druzhba pipeline. It carries crude oil from Russia to Belarus to Ukraine to Slovakia and Hungary. Ukrainian attacks in 2025 suspended flows to Hungary and Slovakia. We have India's connectivity projects like Kaladan multimodal transit transport project. So India-Myanmar multimodal corridor connecting Kolkata to India's northeast via Myanmar's Kaladan river. And we have India-Myanmar-Thailand trilateral highway connects More, Manipur to Mysore, Thailand via Myanmar. We have Maitri Setu, India-Bangladesh bridge over the Feni river. Agartala Akhura railway, rail connectivity project between India and Bangladesh. BBI and motor vehicle agreement. Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal agreement for seamless movement of goods and people. Border lines with India. So Bangladesh, the most 4,096 kilometers, then China 3,488 kilometers, Pakistan 3,323 kilometers, Nepal 1,850 kilometers, Myanmar 1,600 kilometers, Bhutan 699 kilometers, Afghanistan 106 kilometers, the current POK. Okay, then India-China relations. So there are 75 years of diplomatic ties in 2025. President Xi Jinping called for a dragon elephant tango. We have a 3,488 kilometer border divided into western, eastern, and central sectors. Western sector, India considers Johnson Line as border, China considers McDonald Line. That's the reason for dispute. Eastern sector disputes over McMahon Line, Tawang and Chumbi Valley contested areas. We have CPEC extension. China, Pakistan, Afghanistan agreed to extend CPEC into Afghanistan. Then Madog Dam, that is Motua Dam, China's mega hydro power project on Yarlang Sangpo River, Brahmaputra in India will surpass the 3 Gorges Dam in installed capacity. Then India-Pakistan relation marred by terrorist activities. Indus Water Treaty placed in abeyance by India after the Pahalgam terror attack. Operation Sindoor, India struck 9 terror camps in Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Targets included Bawalpur, the center of Jaish Mohammed, Muridke, Lashkar-e-Taiba, Muzaffarabad, Kotli. First such cross-border strike since 1971. US brokered the ceasefire followed. And then the Resistance Front, TRF, designated as foreign terrorist organization by USA, backed by Lashkar-e-Taiba, claimed responsibility for the one of the most inhuman attacks done by the terrorist, Pahalgam attack. Pakistan declared Simla Agreement in abeyance and suspended all bilateral agreements with India. Simla Agreement was signed in 1972 after the 1971 war. It was signed post-war and established line of control as the de facto border. Repatriations of prisoner of wars, 90,000 plus Pakistani soldiers were on the knees. And it was done by the great, under the leadership of 2 great leaders, one General Sam Manekshaw, Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw, and Mrs. Indira Gandhi. And India made a new extended continental shelf claim in the Arabian Sea. Pakistan objected, citing Creek disputes. Durand Line, 2,640 km Afghanistan-Pakistan border, was also in news. And India-USA relations. So USA had put a lot of tariff on India. 26% reciprocal traffic escalated to 50%, reduced to 18% under India-US interim trade agreement in February 2026. Major defense partner status granted in 2016. Foundational defense agreement, one is LEMUA with respect to logistics exchange. Then we have COMCASA, that is Communication Compatibility and Security Agreement, signed in 2018. BECA, Basic Exchange and Cooperation Agreement, and Security of Supply Agreement 2024. India is 18th partner, non-binding. An initiative on critical and emerging technologies, signed in 2023. India-US Defense Acceleration Ecosystem, Defense Innovation under ISET 2023. And Resolve Tibet Act. US Congress mandated Tibet-China dispute resolve as per international law. And India and Russia relationship, tried and tested friend, have a very long relationship. Helped us in during the 1971 war as well, and helped us with the defense supplies, and there is a strong relationship between India and Russia. So 25th anniversary of Declaration of Strategic Partnership in 2025. There is a reciprocal exchange of logistic agreement, which is called as RALOS, which is approved. Mutual logistic access military bases and ports. Russia joined India's International Big Cat Alliance as a 19th member. Approximately 90% trade happens in local currencies, that is rubles and rupees. Joint military exercises, Indira is a tri-service, and Avia Indira is Air Force. Exercise Zapad 2025, India participated as observer. And India-UK relations, so India-UK Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, SETA 2025, after 3 years of Negotiations, UK eliminates tariff on 99% of Indian goods. India opened 89.5% of its market. Then India-UK Vision 2035. Three pillars are there: trade and economic growth, technology innovation, defense and security. UK is the sixth largest inward investor in India with $35 billion cumulative foreign direct investment. Joint exercises are Konkan 25 Navy, Ajaya Warrior Army, Cobra Warrior Air Force, Perseus Navy, North Arabian Sea. Then we have India-Sri Lanka relations, the historical relationships. You must have heard about Cholas and all, and the Ramayana. Okay, previously it was called as Ceylon. Prime Minister Modi awarded Sri Lanka's highest civilian honor, that is Mitra Vibhushana. Key outcome is India, Sri Lanka, UAE energy hub at Trincomalee, Sri Lanka's unique digital identity project. Grant for temples. These are the corporations which are there. India converted $100 million loans to grants and donated $2.4 billion Lankan rupees for the eastern province. Then 13th Amendment from Indo-Lanka Accord in 1987. Implementation delayed, connected to Tamil reconciliation. You must have heard about LTTE and all of these things, and Rajiv Jayawardene Accord. India, Sri Lanka, largest state. India is Sri Lanka's largest state partner, top foreign direct investment source, biggest tourist source. Challenges are Amman Totaport, so Chinese control. Because of it, the sting of pulse. China is trying to encircle India. Chinese surveillance vessels, Kachatu Island, ceded by India in 1974. We had read about it in geography lecture. And the fisheries disputes. Then India-Maldives relations. So Prime Minister Modi's official visit marked 60 years of diplomatic ties. Unified Payment Interface UPI was launched in the Maldives. Bitra Island, Lakshadweep's smallest inhabited island, India are considering for defense purpose. There are important ocean channels. 8-degree channel separates Minicoy Island, India from the Maldives. 9-degree channel separates the Maldives from the Lakshadweep Island. 10-degree channel separates the Andaman Island from the Nicobar Island. India-Afghanistan relationship. India-Afghanistan relationship is very strong and very historic. You must have heard people like Sher Shah Suri or Afghanis, Lodhis. Afghanistan foreign minister visited India, first ministerial visit since Taliban takeover in 2021. India restored technical mission to full embassy status in Kabul. India-Afghanistan air freight corridor commenced. India-Afghanistan friendship dam, that is Salma Dam, is in Herat, built with Indian support. Moscow format, so India participated in 7th Moscow format consultation in October 2025 alongside China, Iran, Pakistan, Central Asian nations and Russia. USA signaled renewed interest in Bagram Air Base, and we read it in geography lecture. In India-Israel relation and West Asia conflict, so Israel became the first OECD country to sign a bilateral investment agreement with India in 2025. The relationship between India and Israel is becoming deeper and deeper with time. Previously also it was there, but under the carpet. It became formalized when the P.V. Narasimha Rao came into the government. Okay. Previous bilateral investment treaty was 1996, was terminated in 2017. There is Operation Rising Lion, Israel's major strike on Iranian nuclear infrastructure. Iran's retaliation is called as Operation True Promise 3. USA strikes, Operation Midnight Hammer, targeted Natanz, Isfahan's, Fordo's, Iran's nuclear facilities. Israel's layered air defense. Barak Megan, that is lightning shield, complementing Iron Dome. David's sling and arrow system. India's Operation Sindoor 2025 to evacuate India's nationals from Iran and Israel, important for your prelims examination. UN Human Rights Council, USA imposed sanctions on Francisca Albanese, UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in Palestinian territories for criticism of Israel. Now let's see some of the important operations executed, key Indian evacuation and military operations done by India. So Devi Shakti 2021, evacuation from Afghanistan after Taliban takeover. Then Operation Ganga, Feb 2022, evacuation from Iran after Russia-Ukraine war. Operation Dost, earthquake relief in Turkey and Syria. Kaveri, Operation Kaveri, evacuation from Sudan. Civil war, Sudanese armed forces versus the rapid support force. There was a war going on. Then Operation Ajay, evacuation from Israel, October 2023. Sindoor, precision strikes on 9 terror camps in Pakistan and POK, post-Pahalgam attack. Then Operation Sindhu, evacuation of Indian nationals from Iran and Israel during Israel-Iran-USA conflict. There are other international relation news. Quickly see, UNHRC 2006. 47 members, 3 years term, selected by General Assembly by secret ballot. Geographical distribution, Africa 13, Asia Pacific 13, and we have read it here previously also. Venezuela, so largest proven crude oil reserves, we have seen in geography lecture also. 303 billion barrels, but low production. Most reserves are extra heavy crude. Venezuela's share of global oil exports fell from 4% plus in 1990s to 0.35%. There is a Monroe Declaration. 1823, USA warned European powers against interference in the Americas. OPEC, which was founded in 1960. Baghdad Conference, founding members are 5. Which are those 5? Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi, and Venezuela. Headquarters is moved from Geneva to Vienna in 1965. After Angola's withdrawal in January 2024, current membership is 12 OPEC plus formed in 2016, 12 OPEC plus and 10 non-OPEC producers, including Russia, Mexico, and Oman. We have Democratic Republic of Congo conflict. So M23 rebels resumed offensives in Kivu. DRC holds 70% of global cobalt reserve. Very important. Already asked in prelims. Produces 80% of global cobalt. China controls 80% of processing. Crisis linked to 1994 Rwandan genocide. Killed 8 lakh people. Great Lakes region, 25% of world's unfrozen fresh water is there. Then Canada's digital service tax, a 3% levy on digital service revenue from Canadian users exceeding $20 million per year, scrapped to restart USA-Canada trade talks. Canada is the second largest USA trading partner. India-Australia Renewable Energy Partnership, that is RAP, launched in 2024. India 500 gigawatt non-fossil capacity target there by 2030. Already 50% of installed capacity from non-fossil sources as of July 2025. Australia's target is 62 to 70% reduction below 2005 level by 2035, and China refines to greater than 90% of rare earth elements globally. China is refining more than 90% of rare earth elements globally. There was a summit, APEC 32nd summit in Guangzhou. There is Guangzhou, which is in China. This is another place in South Korea. Theme was building a sustainable tomorrow. Connect, innovate, prosper. APEC Secretariat, Singapore. Okay. China proposed World AI Cooperation Organization, China to host APEC 2026. And Quad Foreign Ministers meeting held in Washington, D.C., second meet of 2025 and first since Operation Sindoor. Focus is on security, critical minerals, and Indo-Pacific cooperation. Then India, Fiji. Fijian Prime Minister visited India, Forum for India-Pacific Island Cooperation. India plus 14 Pacific Island countries. First FIPIC summit happened in Suva, Fiji in 2014. Okay. Thoda sa intellectual property rights in global institutions we will see. Copyright. What is copyright? So it protects literary, artistic, and musical works. 3 things. India made an act in 1957, amended 2012 to include digital copyrights as well. Protection 50 plus years after the author's death. Author ke death पर 50 plus years का protection is there. Trademarks, so it protects logos, signs, slogans, brand names. So Trademarks Act 1999, indefinite protection is renewed every 10 years. Then geographical indication GIs, so identifies product with unique geographical origin. GI tags, you must be knowing about it. Geographical indication of goods, registration and protection, Act 1999, effective since 2003. India has 400 plus GI tags valid for 10 years. The renewable highest is of Karnataka and then Tamil Nadu. Patents, so it protects invention for 20 years. India's Patent Act was formed in 1970, shifted from process patents to product patents to comply with TRIPS agreement. And industrial design, so it protects aesthetic and visual appearance of a product. Design Act 2000, 10-year protection, extendable to 15 years. Trade secrets, it protects confidential business data, formulas and strategies. India has no dedicated trade secret law, protected under contract and competition law. Plant varieties protection, so protects new plants, varieties, and farmers' right. Protection of plant varieties and farmers' right Act 2001 was enacted for it. And we have integrated circuit layouts, so protect circuit designs and semiconductor layouts. Semiconductor Integrated Circuit Layout Design Act was formulated in 2000. There are some conventions like Paris Convention, it protects industrial property rights across countries. India joined in 1998, established the National Treatment Principle. Then Berne Convention protects copyrights globally. India joined in 1928. No registration required for copyright protection. TRIPS agreement, it establishes global minimum standard for intellectual property laws. India complies via Patent Act 1970, GI Act 1999, Copyright Act 1957. India uses TRIPS flexibility to issue compulsory license for life-saving drugs. And we have Patent Cooperation Treaty, global patent application through a single filing. India joined in 1998, administered by World Intellectual Property Organization. And we have Madrid Protocol 1996, simplifies global trademark registration. India joined in 2013. A single Madrid application covers 130 plus countries. And we have a Hague Agreement, protects industrial design internationally. India joined in 2019, reduces cost of registering industrial design worldwide. Okay, with this we have completed the international relation. Now we will move. Now let's see the science and technology. So we will start with first the space science and astronomy basics. The first basic theory is your Big Bang theory. So what is Big Bang theory and what are the evidences for it? So it talks about the origin of universe that happened approximately 13.8 billion years ago from an extremely hot, dense state. And since then, universe is expanding. So at the start, what was there? Space, time, matter, and energy. all were compressed into an extremely small state. And then the expansion began. This was not an explosion in empty space, it was the expansion of space itself. Previously, space, time, matter, energy were all compressed into a extremely small state. Evidences are there. The first is redshift of galaxies. Redshift of galaxies shows that the universe is expanding. Second is cosmic microwave background radiation. So the leftover heat from the early universe is still there. Then the observed abundance of light elements like hydrogen, helium, which fits early universe prediction. Now, this theory explains how the universe evolved into galaxies, stars, planets over a billion years ago. It is central to modern cosmological understanding and standard model for the universe origin and evolution. Okay. Then now let's read the concepts like dark matter, dark energy. So dark matter comprises the 27% of the share of the universe. What is it? So dark matter is invisible. That's why it is called as dark. Invisible form of matter which does not emit, absorb, or reflect light. It will not either emit or absorb or reflect light. Okay. So that's important. So because of it, we cannot see it. It has to absorb or reflect or emit. Nah? Because of the concept of reflection, only we are able to see anything. If it is not able to do so, that's why we cannot see it directly. Scientists infer its existence from the gravitational effects it has on galaxies and galaxy clusters. Now it matters because almost 1/4 of the entire universe is made up of dark matters, or roughly the 85% of all matters. Far more than what is visible in the galaxy. It is the thing which helps to hold the galaxy together. जो galaxy है उसको hold करता है dark matter. Okay. And plays a major role in how the universe formed and evolved. और पता कैसे चला how we come to know that it exists? So evidence comes from the galaxy rotation speed, the motion of galaxies in cluster, and the way galaxy bends light around massive objects. इनसे we started observing that there is something much more mass present that we can account for with visible matter alone. Okay. Then we also have visible, that is baryonic matter, that is only 5%. Everything we can see, touch, and detect with the instrument. Dark energy. So dark energy comprises almost 68% of the entire universe. It's kind of a mysterious energy that is driving its expansion to speed up over time, the Big Bang. It is estimated to make up around 68% of the universe totals energy density. So unlike ordinary matter, dark energy does not clump into stars or galaxies. It is more like a property of empty space itself. Now, its presence helps us to understand that why distant galaxies are moving apart faster and faster. Okay. Scientists, however, still do not know what dark energy actually is. It may be related to vacuum energy, a cosmological constant, or some new form of physics beyond our current theories. Okay. So this is what we need to know. We have the Raman Research Institute telescope in Ladakh, CMB. Okay. Einstein cosmological constant. Then general theory of relativity and standard model of physics. So what is general theory of relativity? First of all, you need to understand it with ease. Let me explain you with ease. So general theory of relativity was given by none other than Albert Einstein. So it says simply that gravity is not a force pulling at a distance. Okay, it's not a force pulling at a distance, but the curvature of space-time. The curvature of the entire space-time caused by mass and energy. What is it? So massive objects now like sun, they warp space-time around them. And planets move along these curved paths. You see now, around sun, there are planets which move in the curved path. That is why Mercury's orbit, light bending near the sun, and gravitational time dilation can all be explained by the theory. Now, what is time dilation? What is this theory of time dilation? Again, it is very, very important for your examination. So it is an effect in relativity where time passes at different rates for different observers. This is called as time dilation. In simple terms, you understand that a moving clock or a clock deeper in gravity can tick more slowly than one at a rest or in a weaker gravity like on Earth. This is called time dilation. You must have seen a time machine, etc. So this is one natural effect. If you can dilate the time, if it is in extreme gravity, that can tick more slowly than one at a rest in weaker gravity. There have been so many Hollywood movies that have been made on it. So general relativity is equal to gravity as space-time curvature This is what you need to understand. Now we have other things as well, like gravitational lensing, and this all has been already asked by UPSC. So that is why I'm trying to discuss them in a bit detail. So light bends near a massive object is called as gravitational lensing. When the light will pass a very massive object such as galaxy or galaxy cluster, it will bend. There will be distortion. There will be magnification. Okay. So astronomers use gravitational lensing as a natural cosmic magnifying glass to see very, very distant and faint galaxies as well. Okay. It is also useful for mapping dark matters, and because lensing reveals mass that is otherwise invisible. Okay. And we have gravitational waves, which is the ripples in space-time. Gravitational waves led to a lot of inventions and theories in terms of physics. So these are ripples in space-time caused by extremely massive objects moving very rapidly, such as merging black holes or neutron stars. So Einstein predicted them in 1916 as a consequence of general relativity. Now, this theory, this led to scientists to observe violent cosmic events that are otherwise hard to detect. Now, gravitational waves are incredibly tiny, so detectors like LIGO measures minute changes in distance using laser interferometry. The first direct detection came in 2015 from two colliding black holes. Now, you will say, sir, what is black holes? This is also important for your examination. So, it is a region of space where gravity is so strong that nothing, not even light, can escape once it crosses the event horizon. They form when very massive star collapses. Through supermassive black holes also exist, though we have supermassive black holes also exist at the center of galaxies. Event horizon is the boundary beyond which escape is impossible. There is a concept called as singularity. So this concept means the extremely dense central region predicted by the theory. Then we have accretion disk. So this is hot gas and dust orbiting the black hole and often producing strong X-rays. So black holes are again commonly grouped into stellar mass, supermassive, intermediate mass categories, etc., etc. The Milky Way has a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A at its center. So we cannot see black holes directly, so astronomers look at their effects on nearby matter, light, and space-time, including accretion disk, gravitational lensing, and stellar motions. Okay. Then there is the perihelion shift of the Mercury. What is this concept? This is also important for your examination. So it is the slow rotation of Mercury's elliptical orbit, meaning the point where Mercury comes closest to the sun moves over time. The key historical result is that the observed advance was about 43 arc seconds per century more than Newtonian theory. So this was one of the earliest strong confirmation of general relativity in Einstein's theory. Space-time curvature near the sun causes Mercury's orbit to precess slightly more than the Newton's law predicted. Now you will say, sir, what is the difference between Newton's law and general theory of relativity? Why was there a need of general theory of relativity when Newtonian mechanics and everything existed before? So Newton's law of universal gravitation says that gravity is a force between masses and works instantaneously in classical physics. However, in general relativity, it says that gravity is the curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy. So Newton gives a very good approximation for most normal situations. जो normal situations होती हैं, while Einstein theory is the more complete theory of relativity. Like for planets, Newton works well most of the time, but Einstein is needed to explain small corrections. Like we read now, Mercury's perihelion shift and the bending of light near the sun. So Newton, so gravity as force, Einstein gravity as space-time curvature. That is the basic difference. Then we have the standard model of physics. You don't need to go so deep into it, but these what we have discussed now is extremely important for your examination. The standard model of physics is the best current theory describing the basic building blocks of matter and three of the four fundamental forces: electromagnetism, the weak force, and the strong force, etc. How we can understand from it. So matter particles are quarks, leptons make up ordinary matter. Okay, then force carriers are photons, gluons, bosons. You must have heard now. W or Z bosons. The Higgs boson is different. So mass we understand from the Higgs field and the Higgs boson. And it is not able to explain adequately things like gravity, and it does not explain dark matter, dark energy, or why there are three generations of particles. That is why physicists treat it as a highly successful but incomplete theory. Okay. Then fundamental force is a strong nuclear force that holds quarks together inside protons and neutrons, and it binds the nucleus. 1 hoga to it is the strongest and range is very short. Electromagnetic, so interaction between the charged particle is called as electromagnetic. Relative strength is 10 to the power minus 2. Range is infinite. Then we have weak nuclear force. So responsible for radioactive decay, that is beta decay, 10 to the power minus 6, very short. And gravitational, not in standard model, as I told you, weakest of all forces, and the range is infinite. So you already discussed the gravitational waves. LIGO is there to observe it. Okay. Location is USA, Hanford, Washington, plus Livingston, Louisiana, then Italy, Virgo, and Japan, Kagera. Okay. Then LIGO India under construction at Hingoli, Maharashtra, expected to be constructed by 2030, built by Department of Atomic Energy and Department of Science and Technology. Then LISA, this has been already asked, Laser Interferometer Space Antenna, or ELISA, Space-Based European Space Agency. ELISA was an advanced one. The 3 spacecraft forming a triangle. 3 spacecraft hote hain, and they make a triangle with 2.5 million kilometer arms. Target low gravitational waves, undetectable on Earth, planned launch 2030s. And we have laser interferometer, lunar antenna, LILA. So planned lunar surface will study gravitational wave in sub-Hertz frequency, undetectable by terrestrial instruments. Moon's permanently shadowed polar regions offer ideal condition, far lower seismic noises there, so we can detect it in a better manner. Okay, so we had read the gravitational lensing also earlier. Now see the neutrinos. So it is the second most abundant particle in the universe after photons. Photon is the most abundant one. Also the most abundant particle with mass is neutrinos. It is also called as ghost particle. It passes through ordinary matters almost entirely. It is not affected by electromagnetic force, no charge. It is undetected by conventional instruments. There are 3 flavors: electron neutrino, muon neutrino, and tau neutrino. These are 3 flavors. Now neutrino oscillation. So neutrinos switch between flavors as they travel. They will travel from electron neutrino to muon to tau, and they have proves they have non-zero mass. They have mass. That's why they are able to change. You know? It is produced in nuclear reactions, the sun, then supernova, cosmic ray interactions, Big Bang, and nuclear reactors. Then we have neutrino fog. So background interference from the abundance of neutrinos in the universe. From sun, supernova, cosmic sources, we can see neutrino fog. So application is neutrino tomography for scanning Earth's interior, solar physics, supernova early warning, nuclear reactor monitoring, detecting clandestine nuclear activity, or in geophysics also. To detect the radioactive decay inside Earth, we can use neutrinos. The observatories, so Ice Cube Neutrino Observatory is in Antarctica. That is world's biggest neutrino telescope. Sensor distributed through 1 cubic meter of ice detects Cherenkov radiation from neutrino interaction. Then we have Super Kamiokande in Japan. That is underwater Cherenkov detector discovered neutrino oscillation. Then we have Jiangmen Underground Neutrino Observatory in China. It has been activated recently. We have India Neutrino Observatory proposed in Theni, Tamil Nadu under proposal. Then we have Antares in Mediterranean Sea. It is underwater observatory. We have a Gigaton volume detector, Lake Baikal, Russia, underwater observatory. Then we have deep underground neutrino experiment, that is called as Dune in USA. Then we have Sudbury Neutrino Observatory in Canada, which is also underground. Hyper K or Super Kamiokande in Japan, large water Cherenkov detector. Black hole we have already discussed. First image of black hole came in 2019. First image by Event Horizon Telescope. Black hole Messier 87 in galaxy M87. 2022 black hole Sagittarius A at center of Milky Way by again the Event Horizon Telescope. Updated image of Sagittarius A showing polarized light revealing magnetic field structure. And black hole triple system. So first ever discovered and it is located 8,000 light years from Earth in the V404 Agni binary system. It consists of a black hole consuming a small star and a second black hole circling the primary. Suggests some black holes may form via direct collapse. No, not the supernova. Then we have brown dwarf. So it is a celestial body that forms like stars but lack enough mass for sustained hydrogen fusion, known as failed stars as well. Have atmosphere similar to gas giants planets like Jupiter. We have red dwarf. So these are small, cool, low mass stars that burn hydrogen slowly, remains in main sequence for trillions of years. Example is Proxima Centauri, that is closest star to Earth. Then we have Cepheids, that is pulsating variable stars whose brightness changes periodically due to expansion and contraction of their outer layers used to measure cosmic distances. We have extreme nuclear transients as well. So new category identified by astronomers at University of Hawaii. Most energetic events in the universe after the Big Bang, triggered when a massive star, 3 times heavier than the sun, is ripped apart by a supermassive black hole. Then we have neutron star types. So the first is pulsar, which is rapidly rotating neutron star. It emitting electromagnetic beams from magnetic poles. And then we have magnetar, neutron star with extremely strong magnetic field, and then we have X-ray busters. So solar system, so sun's layers inside out. So core is the radiative zone, then convective zone, then the photosphere, then chromosphere, then corona. There is a corona heating problem. So temperature decreases away from the sun's core, yet the corona is far hotter than the photosphere. So explanation is one is the Alpine waves. So magnetic waves deposit energy in corona, and then nanoflares. So millions of tiny magnetic events in corona that happens because of that. This can be explained. Then we have solar cycle. So 11 years of cycle of the sun's magnetic activity marked by rise and fall of sunspots caused by differential rotation. So equator rotates faster than pole because of it. Magnetic field lines twist and tangle. Effect on Earth is solar maximum में most sunspots, peak activity, solar minimum, fewest sunspots, low activity. Then sunspots are dark, cooler patches on the sun's surface caused by intense localized magnetic field actively suppressing convection, indicator of solar activity. Then we have solar flares. So sudden intense burst of electromagnetic radiation like X-rays, UV radio waves from the sun's surface due to sudden release of magnetic energy near sunspot region. Reaches Earth in 8 minutes. Radio communication distribution can be disrupted because of solar flares. Satellite and GPS can be disturbed. Damage to spacecraft, electronics, auroras at high latitudes may trigger geomagnetic storms. These are the impacts, and these are also asked in the UPSC previous year question as well. And coronal mass injection. So this is called a large expulsion of plasma and magnetic field from the sun's corona. Reaches Earth in 1 to 3 days. More damaging than the solar flares, can trigger major geomagnetic storms, disrupts power grids, and damage even satellites. So it is more disruptive than the solar flare. And we have solar winds. So a stream of plasma particles continuously ejected from the sun's outermost atmosphere, corona. It causes auroras, that is northern and southern lights, and geomagnetic storms. Then we have ISRO important missions that we need to read for this year. Space docking experiment has been done by the ISRO, SpaDeX 24 payloads in December 2024. It uses two small spacecrafts. One is STX-01 Chaser and STX-02 Target. India became only the fourth country after USA, Russia, China to perform space docking. First spacecraft to dock was NASA's Gemini 8. Now, first of all, you need to understand what is space docking. Okay. The first one was commanded by Neil Armstrong. So space docking is the process of bringing two spacecraft together in orbit and mechanically joining them. So it is used for crew transfer, cargo delivery, refueling, and assembling large structure like space stations. So what happens is first the spacecraft perform a endeavors gradually closing the distance with very precise navigation and control. Then they make contact, lock together with docking mechanism, and may open hatches for transfer or integration. It allows space agency to build and operate missions that would be too large or complex to launch as one piece. And India is doing that. This is important for future Indian missions such as Chandrayaan 4 and the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, which is our ultimate goal. Then we have compact research module for orbital plant studies crops. So payload on PSLV C60 developed by Vikram Sarabhai Space Center. It will study seed germination, plant survival in microgravity. Using 8 cowpea seeds, multi-phase initiative for sustainable agriculture practices in space. NISAR is very important for your examination this year. Jointly developed by NASA, L-band radar, GPS solid state recorder, and ISRO, S-band radar. What is this L-band, S-band? Do you know about it? Another concept which I will try to explain you what is L-band, S-band, etc. So these are radio frequency bands used in satellite and wire communication. L-band will have a lower frequency, 1 to 2 gigahertz. S-band will have 2 to 4 gigahertz. L is equal to lower, S is equal to slightly higher. So L-band is mostly used for GPS, satellite phones, aviation, and marine communication. S-band for weather radar, ship radar, communication, and spacecraft and satellites. Okay, this is what you need to know. Weight is 2,700 kilogram, dual frequency imaging radar satellite will scan nearly all of Earth's land and ice surfaces twice every year. Okay. For 12 days, uses natural disaster warnings like volcanoes, earthquakes, landslides, groundwater levels, glacial flow, forest and agriculture monitoring. Then we have Aditya 11 mission, that is India's first solar mission. It carries 7 scientific payloads placed at the Lagrange point. Now the concept again is what is Lagrange point, because UPSC won't simply ask you facts. They will ask you concepts. That's why I'm explaining it. So Lagrange point is a place in space where the gravitational pull of two large bodies, maybe take the example of Earth and the Sun, will balance with the orbital motion of smaller object. So a spacecraft placed there can stay in nearly fixed position relative to the two bodies with very little fuel. That is why we are using it. So it has been placed at Lagrange point L1 between Earth and Sun in a hollow orbit. Lagrange points, 5 points are there, L1 to L5, between two celestial bodies where gravitational and centripetal forces balance each other. L1, L2, L3 is unstable along the connecting line, L4, L5 are stable. Trojan points from equatorial triangle. Objective is to study the sun's chromosphere and corona, examines all the coronal mass injections and analyze the corona's magnetic field, understand the coronal heating problem because it impacts our Earth. So that is why this mission is there. So that we can have more predictive analysis. Then we have LIGNOSAT, Japan. So world's first satellite with wooden components developed by Kyoto University and Sumitomo Forestry, weighs 900 grams, size of a coffee mug, made from magnolia wood that is lightweight, resistant to cracking, assembled using traditional Japanese crafts techniques without screws or glue. Environmental benefit is burns cleanly, water vapor and carbon dioxide is released, unlike aluminium satellites. Then we have Lunar Mobile Launch Vehicle. So ISRO's heaviest planned rocket, as tall as 40-story building, larger than current LVM-3, will be used for lunar mission, including first human mission to the moon planned by 2040. Will carry 80 tons to low Earth orbit and 27 tons to the moon. NASA, the Europa Clipper. So it is the first mission designed to conduct a detailed study of Jupiter's moon, Europa. Jupiter ka moon name is Europa. Europa may contain ingredients for life. Will travel 2.9 billion kilometers to reach Jupiter in April 2030, largest NASA spacecraft developed for a planetary mission. We have international space stations and there are other space stations. So it is a habitable artificial satellite in lower Earth orbit. First component was launched in 1998 and it required more than 40 missions, and partners are European space agencies and USA's NASA and Japan's space agency JAXA, Canada's CSA and Russia's Roscosmos. Will continue as working laboratory until at last 2030. Future NASA's Artemis base camp on moon surface and gateway in lunar orbit. India's planned station is Bharatiya Antariksh Station. Yeah, others as well. Soviet Union and Russia had Salyut 1, first space station, to Salyut 7, then Mir and all. Salyut 1 was world's first space station. Then China, Tiangong 1, then Tiangong 2. Tiangong space station fully operational in late 2022. China's current operational space station. USA has Skylab, first US space station launched by NASA in 1973. Historical, no longer operational. Then we have quantum satellite and quantum key distribution. I had made a detailed video on emerging technology. In terms of this last lab series, only the first video is emerging technology. I have explained the quantum computing and quantum superimposition, etc. So quantum satellite, a communication satellite, which will utilize that, the quantum mechanics to secure data transmission. Emergence of quantum computers poses a threat to existing cryptographic system. Quantum satellite ensures security through quantum cryptography. Okay, the existing ones can be easily cracked. Then quantum key distribution. So it has been already asked by UPSC. If an eavesdropper intercepts a quantum key that is encoded in photons, their action disturbs the photons, alerting sender and receiver to a breach. So breach hota na in terms of cyber security, we use quantum key distribution. Through the, samajh lo ki the technology is quantum technology and which is encoded in photons. So if there is any action disturbing the photon, and the people will know that there is a breach. It's a very good method. And quantum entanglement, so we had already discussed it in that lecture. So quickly discuss this. Entangled particles remain connected such that a charge to one instantly affects the other, regardless of distance, ensures any interception is immediately detectable. China launched world's first quantum satellite, MECS, in 2016. Also launched quantum experiments at space scales. USA Boeing targeting 2026 to deploy a small quantum networking satellite. And then we have Vera C. Rubin Observatory, Chile, in the Chilean Andes. Okay, there is a Simon V survey telescope. Three unique features is that it has a wide field of view. Observes areas equivalent to at least 40 moons arranged next to each other. 3 micro design. Primary is 8.4 meter, secondary is 3.5 meter, and tertiary is 5 meter. It has largest digital camera in the world, size of a small car, weighs 2,800 kilograms. And resolution is of 3,200 megapixel. The best of the cameras of mobile, it is almost 60 times. Then rapid movement. So fastest slewing telescope in the world takes just 5 seconds to move and settle from one target to another due to compact structure and oil-bearing mount. We'll gather 20 terabytes of astronomical data each night, generate 10 million alerts per night, catalogs 5+ million asteroids and 1 lakh near-Earth objects over 10 years. We have asteroid missions as well, like Hayabusa, which has been launched by Japan, and target is Ryugu. It found organic molecules. We have OSIRIS-REx by NASA. Bennu is the target. Bennu asteroid. Then we have Lucy, NASA, Jupiter's Trojan asteroids, studying the Jupiter Trojans. Then Psyche by NASA, Psyche, that is a metallic asteroids. First mission to a metallic rich asteroid. Then we have DART, that is double asteroid redirection test. As the name suggests, redirecting the asteroids. The target was Dimorphos, testing asteroid deflection via kinetic impact for planetary defense. Otherwise, it can strike the Earth as well. Key definition. So one is meteoroid. The piece of rock or metal traveling through space is called as a meteoroid. And meteoroid that enters and burns up in Earth atmosphere, shooting star, it is called as a meteor. Now it is burning. Then meteoroid is a meteor that survives and hits the Earth's surface. It becomes the meteorite. So meteoroid is the piece of rock or metal traveling through space. When it enters and burns up the atmosphere, it is called the meteor. And when it strikes the surface, it is called the meteorite. We have some navigation systems. So the first is GPS that we all use of USA, and this is global. Then we have GLONASS of Russia, it is also global. We have Beidou of China, global. And we have Galileo of European Union, which is also global. We have made Navik, navigation with Indian constellation, which is regional. And then this Quasi Zenith satellite system of Japan, again, that is regional. Navik is operational since 2018. Coverage is India plus 1,500 km beyond borders. 7 satellites, 3 geostationary, 4 geosynchronous orbit, inclined. Services standard civilian and restricted military. Uses rubidium atomic clock. Then we have Gagan. So GPS aided geo augmented navigation satellite based augmentation system developed by ISRO. Airport Authority of India has also taken participation in it, and it reduces GPS position error from the 15 meters to 3 meters. Primary use is civil aviation. Then you have atomic clocks. So timekeeping for navigation satellites, even 1 microsecond error equal to 300 meter position error. cesium is more precise, bulkier, used in GPS, known as Galileo. Rubidium, lighter, used in Navik. Cryogenic engine in India is cryogenic technology, and it uses propellants at extremely low temperature, liquid oxygen at minus 183 degrees Celsius as oxidizer, liquid hydrogen as fuel. So what is oxidizer? Liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen is a fuel. समझ लो माइनस में यूज किया जाता है. Advantages at high energy per unit mass, high specific impulse, far greater payload than solid or liquid storable propellants, higher fuel density at lower temperature, more thrust per kilogram. There can be hazards as well, like fire, explosion, pressure, chemical toxicity, severe frostbite, asphyxiation. The formal approval for cryogenic upper stage project was in 1994. First 7.5 ton engine in 2009. You must have heard the name of Nambi Narayan, the great Nambi Narayan. India is one of only 6 countries with indigenous cryogenic engines. Others are USA, okay, France, European Space Agency included, and Russia, China, Japan, and India. These are only 6. C20, India's largest cryogenic engine developed by Liquid Propulsion System Center, ISRO. Semi-cryogenic engine, so that uses refined kerosene instead of the LS2 and plus LOX, and kerosene is lighter and storable at normal temperature. But yaad rakho ki isme we uses the refined kerosene. That's enough for your examination. Okay, we had already done a intermediate configuration. First hot test of this. Then we have integrated cryogenic engine manufacturing facility established by HAL to produce cryogenic and semi-cryogenic engines for India. Then we have Google project Suncatcher. It is a long-term research initiative to place solar-powered data centers in space by 2027. Project Suncatcher will equip solar-powered satellites constellations with tensor processing units. Google patents chips for high-volume AI computations is called as TPUs, that is tensor processing units, and optical inter-satellite links. Data center level computation links between satellite and will use laser beams. Then we have HAM radio, that is amateur radio, popularly known as ham radio, licensed radio service relying on radio waves for communication, largely deployed for education, knowledge, emergency SOS communication. Emergency SOS communication recently Government of India tested. So HAM radio is used for it. Uses dedicated frequency at transceivers and an antenna. Communication can be hyperlocal, global, or in space. In India, any individual above age 12 can operate a HAM radio. Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology issues license for it. First used in space in 1983. International Space Station has a mature radio on the International Space Station used for astronaut-student interactions. Then we have Axiom 4 mission. Astronauts from India, Poland, and Hungary will contact their respective countries using ham radio twice during their 14-day ISS stay. India uses ham radio in emergencies like Bhuj earthquake, Indian Ocean tsunami, Uttarakhand floods. Then let's see defense technology. The first is your integrated guided missile development program. So इनके missiles को, if you have to remember, the acronym is PATNA, the Bihar's capital. P stands for Prithvi. Prithvi is surface to surface short range ballistic missile. We have A stands for Agni, surface to surface, again intermediate range ballistic missile. T stands for Trishul, surface to air short range low level missile. N stands for Nag, that is anti-tank third generation fire and forget missile. And A is for Akash, that is surface to air medium range missile. And we have the Agni missile, was later separated from this program and expanded independently. So Patna se kaam chal jayega. P for Prithvi, A for Agni, T for Trishul, N for Nag, and A for Akash. See the difference between ballistic missile and cruise missile. What is the basic difference? Projectile motion you must have read, na? The ballistic missile using that, it follows a ballistic parabolic path trajectory after initial rocket boost. Cruise missile is almost like an aircraft within the atmosphere using the jet propulsion. So propulsion in ballistic is rocket engines only in boost phase, and then it travels unpowered after a while. It can travel longer distance because of it. However, cruise missiles will need jet or turbofan engines which power the missile throughout the flight. And the flight path is travels into space, upper atmosphere, then descends like a parabola, like this. It flies within atmosphere, often at a very low altitude. So first phase is boost, mid-course, and then terminal course. And here the continuous pod flight is there. Speed is very high, hypersonic during re-entry. Okay, and then intercontinental method, it is 24,000 km per square. If you see cruise, so generally it is subsonic or supersonic. Maneuverability, limited after boost phase, you cannot maneuver. Maneuver means upper, niche, and targets ke anusar, the variations, limited. It follows gravity path. No? It is following gravity path. But this can be maneuvered and capable of course correction as well within the path. Detection, it is easier, harder because it is terrain hugging, low altitude. Mainly it is inertial guidance, and modern ones include satellite guidance as well. Cruise, terrain mapping, GPS. Okay. And inertial navigation, camera guidance. India ka Agni series is part of this. Then Prithvi. Here BrahMos and Nirbhay is part of cruise missile. Okay. Specific target ko if you have to precisely karna, so we will use cruise. Okay. And there are two types of engine, ramjet and scramjet. Combustion speed is air slow to subsonic speed before combustion. Here air remains at supersonic speed during combustion. यहाँ पे ज्यादा ना efficiency and speed we can generate hypersonic through scramjet. Okay. So this is what you need to know, and it is ramjet is used in sounding rockets for atmospheric studies, and scramjet successfully tested on advanced technology vehicles, achieved Mach 6 to 5, uses hydrogen as fuel and atmospheric oxygen as oxidizer. तो यहाँ पे ramjet यूज होता है BrahMos Mach 3 and MBDA Meteor Europe. And hypersonic technology में a demonstrator vehicle we had already used it. Indian missiles in use, so Agni-V. So it is nuclear capable. First of all, it is surface to surface ballistic missile. There is 3-stage solid fuel. Range is 5,000 plus kilometer intercontinental. India joins USA, Russia, China, France with multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle capable missiles. MIRV. One missile releases several warheads onto different target is called as MIRV. एक missile होगा, several warheads with different targets will be launched. That is called as MIRV. And Agni-6 is under development. So expected to be launched from land and submarines. Strike range is 8,000 to 10,000 kilometers. Will strengthen India's second strike capability. And we have Agni-3. That is surface to surface. Can be deployed from rail and road mobile launchers. Range is 3,000 to 3,000 kilometers approximately. Intermediate range ballistic missile. Agni Prime. So new generation advanced variant. It will be canisterized missile. Range is 1,000 to 2,000 kilometers. Canisterization reduces the launch time. It improves storage and mobility, lighter than all earlier Agni missiles. We have AKAS NG. NG means for next generation. So it is surface to air missile for Indian Air Force. Range is 70 kilometers. Intercepts high speed, high maneuverable, and low radar cross section threats. It is important for our air security. Kill probability is 90% and speed is Mach 2.5. We have a Gandiva, renamed the Astra Mk3. So it is advanced beyond visual range, air-to-air missile, deployable on Sukhoi Su-30 MKI and light combat aircraft Tejas. Protected range is 350 kilometers. Speed is Mach 4.5. Then we have long-range anti-ship hypersonic missile. That is indigenous hypersonic glide missile by DRDO. Range is 1,500 kilometers. And future variants can go up to 3,500 kilometers. Speed Mach 10 initially, average Mach 5. Designed for Indian Navy, coastal, battery and sea denial. We have Barak 8 that was constructed jointly by India and Israel. It is surface-to-air missile developed by DRDO and Israel Aerospace Industry. Range is 70 to 100 kilometers, used by all three Indian armed forces. We have Scalp, that is Storm Shadow. It is a long-ranged air-launched cruise missile developed by France and UK. Range is 250 to 560 kilometers. It has terrain hugging flight. India's Rafale jets are equipped with Scalp. Okay, it has low radar cross section. And we have BrahMos, that is world's fastest supersonic cruise missile, jointly developed by DRDO and our Russian counterpart NPO. Okay, through BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited. The principle is fire and forget. Now you must have be wondering, sir, what is fire and forget principle? Okay, ऐसे तो it's not very very important. But fire and forget means a system, a weapon is launched, executed, and does not need continuous guidance afterward. Launch कर दिया, guidance नहीं चाहिए continuous. This is called as fire and forget. Okay. Low radar cross section, stealth ability. Stealth है मतलब detect नहीं हो सकता. Current range is 350 km. Future models will have 800 km. Hypersonic version in development. Multiple variants: ship-based, land-based, submarine-based, air-launched. You have K4 missiles. That is medium range ballistic missile. Range is 3,500 kilometers. Successfully test fired from INS Arighat. Nuclear powered ballistic missile submarine in the Bay of Bengal. K family submarine launched ballistic missile named after Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the missile man. Then Oresnik, that is hypersonic, built by Russia. Intermediate range ballistic missile. Range is 600 to 1,000 kilometers. Speed is 8,000 miles per hour. Then we have Burevestnik, that is again Russia, and nuclear powered, nuclear armed cruise missile designed for unlimited range and unpredictable fight paths, powered by a miniaturized nuclear reactor. Then India Defense and Electronic Systems, so we have AKAS Tir Integrated Air Defense was inducted in 2024. It is AI enabled and it has automated air defense control and reporting system developed by BEF, Bharat Electronic Limited. Enables autonomous monitoring of low-level airspace in battle zones, integrated Army's air defense assets, AKAS surface-to-air missile, radar guns, connects with Indian Air Force integrated air command and control system and Indian Navy's Trigun. It provides composite recognized air situation picture, significantly reduces risk of friendly fire. Friendly fire में बोलते हैं ना, friendly fire में more hazard happens. Just unprepared होते हैं ना, एकदम surprise में this happens. Integrated air command and control system. So it is developed by BEL again, Bharat Electronics Limited. Automated command and control system integrating data from all air defense assets. It is ground-based radar. Airborne sensor, civilian radar, and communication nodes are included in this. Layer 1 is for counter-drone system, because drones are becoming threat. And man-portable air defense system. Layer 2 and 3 is for point air defense and short medium-range surface-to-air missiles. And layer 4 is for long-range the surface-to-air missiles. Then we have Project Kusha. That is India's indigenous long-range air defense system, answer to Russians S-400 and Americans Patriot, developed by DRDO and BEL. 3 interceptor missiles ranges 150 km, 250 km, and 350 kilometers. Then we have Mission Sudarshan Chakra. This was announced by Honorable Prime Minister on 15 August 2025. That is India's shield and sword to be achieved by 2035. Comprehensive protection for strategic, civilian, and religious sites across air, land, and sea, all three. And we have integrated air defense weapon system. There are 3 components. One is quick reaction surface to air missile, QRSAM by DRDO. Then very short range air defense system by Research Center, Emirate, RCI, Hyderabad. Then we have high power laser based directed energy weapon by Center on High Energy System and Sciences, Hyderabad. Then we have Shahastra Shakti MK2A laser DU. Okay. 30 kilowatt laser based weapon system can disable, degrade, or destroy small drones, swarm drones, missiles, and sensors developed by DRDO's Chess, Hyderabad, and India joins USA, Russia, China with operational high power laser technology. Global is the Iron Beam is of Israel, and then Helios of USA, Dragonfire of UK. We have Persevet of Russia 2018 में developed हुआ था. Then we have Sonobuoys, India USA co-production. That is expendable sonar buoys for anti-submarine warfare and underwater acoustic research. Small size is 13 centimeter, diameter is 91 centimeter long. It combine above surface radio transmitters and underwater hydrophone sensors. Dropped from aircraft or ships, hydrophone descend to selected depth, capturing acoustic signals. So we have Golden Dome of USA, ground and space-based missile defense system designated to protect all of the USA. Integrates Patriot batteries, terminal high altitude air defense, Aegis ballistic missile defense system, ground-based mid-course defense. Outer Space Treaty of 1967, Article 4 prohibits weapons of mass destruction in orbit, but does not ban conventional weapons in space. Golden Dome normalizes the weaponization of outer space, and this is something of grave concern. Now let's see fighters, tanks, drones, and naval assets. So stealth fighter generations, we have 4 generations. MiG-29 or Mirage 2000. Then 4 generations and 4.5 generations and are Tejas Mk1, Rafale, Sukhoi 30 MKI. They have ASA radar and electronic warfare. Few generation we have F-22, F-35, J-20, which has full stealth and internal weapon base, super cruiser sensors, fusion 6th generation. You'll have AI and loyal wingman drones, directed energy weapons. So NGAD of USA and Tempest of UK are part of it. AI use kiya jayega. Then we have advanced medium combat aircraft. So India's planned 5th generation fighter jet, 25-ton twin engine aircraft with advanced stealth internal fuel tank, 6.5 tons internal weapon bay. ठीक है, इतना डीप नहीं जाना अपने को. Developed initially by DRDO's gas turbine establishment. Private partners are Tata Advanced System, LET, your LNT, Bharat Forge, etc. Okay. Then we have Tejas, that is upgraded variant of light combat aircraft developed by HAL. It has active electronically scanned array, electronic warfare suit, beyond visual range, missile capability, and it is world's smallest and lightest supersonic fighter in its class. It has delta wing configuration, and it has quadruplex digital flyby firefight control program initiated in 1984 to replace aging MiG-21 jets managed by aeronautical development agencies. MiG, so many extents were also. And Rafale, 4.5 generation multi-role combat aircraft by Dassault Aviation, France. 14 storage stations for weapon, Meteor air-to-air missile, also equipped with SCAL. We had already studied about SCAL earlier. Then air-to-ground cruise missile ranges more than 300 kilometers. Okay. Then we have Zorawar light tank, indigenous light tank for high-altitude warfare, which is very, very important for India, developed by DRDO and L&T. Post 2020 Galwan class, weight is under 25 tons, air transportable, and thus we can take it to far places quickly. Armaments of 105mm gun, fires anti-tank guided missiles, technologies, AI integration, drone integration, active protection system, counters China's Type 15 tank in Ladakh. We have NAG Mk2 anti-tank missile, 3rd generation fire and forget anti-tank guided missile range, ranges 7 to 10 km. Predecessor is NAG Mk1, had 4 km range, developed by DRDO. Then we have INS Taragiri, 4th ship of Nilgiri class, frigates. What are frigates? Okay, ऐसे तो उतना deep जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, but I will still tell you what are frigates. So frigate is a medium-sized warship. Generally, it is smaller than a destroyer and often used for escort, anti-submarine warfare, patrolling, and fleet protection. And it is a multi-role naval vessel. And it carries sensor, missiles, helicopter, stealth features. They are especially useful for escorting larger ships and protecting sea lanes. So, both are frigates. Okay, delivered to Indian Navy at Mazagaon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, MDL. Okay. Then 75% indigenous content. Project 70 has 7 advanced stealth frigates, 4 at MDL, 3 at Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers, GRSE. Yeah. Then we have MH-60R Seahawk helicopter. So maritime variant of Black Hawk, manufactured by Lockheed Martin. And this is also important for multi-mission and anti-submarine warfare. We have gravity bomb, unpowered free-fall munition, and trajectory governed entirely by gravity, aerodynamics and speed, altitude for dropping aircraft, US nuclear gravity bombs, 8 B-61 and B-83 series. Then we have Gaurav glide bomb, air-launched 1000 kg class glide bomb by DRDO, hybrid navigation, inertial navigation system is used, and we have GPS developed by Research Center Emirate RCI, Hyderabad, successfully released from Sukhoi 30 MKI. Okay. GRSE is in Kolkata. Okay. Drone system. So MQ-NB Predator USA ka India signed a deal with USA for this. And it has high altitude, long endurance, and fly 40 plus hours using satellite link. We have MELI, that is medium altitude, long endurance drones. Altitude can be as high as 10,000, 35,000 feet, and endurance up to 30 hours. India's Melee drones and Tapas Rustam Archer, India also procuring Herion Mk2 from Israel. Then we have Harp of Israel, developed by Israel's aerospace industries, and it has loitering ammunition, cross between a drone and a missile. Loiters near designated targets, then attacks. Then Rudrastra, that is indigenous technology built a drone by Solar Aerospace and Defense Limited for the Indian Army, and we have a Poseidon of Russia, which is nuclear-powered, nuclear-capable, unmanned aerial vehicle developed by Rubin Design Bureau. It may generate radioactive tsunamis powered by miniaturized nuclear reactors. can involve conventional or nuclear payloads. And we have Indrajal, India's first indigenous AI-powered automated anti-drone defense dome by Green Robotics, Hyderabad. Okay. Then we have Bhargavastra, India's first indigenous micro-missile-based counter-drone system developed by Solar Defense and Aerospace Limited in collaboration with Economic Explosive Limited. The swarm drones, so autonomous or semi-autonomous UAVs operating in coordinated groups. So many drones will come. This is called a swarm, swarm. Sheshnag 150 developed by New Space Research and Technology, NRT Bengaluru. India's closest equivalent to Iran's Sahid drone, which was, got chaos. Pakistan also was using swarm drones, etc. We have another one, which is called as the Kamikaze drones. Okay, that can be also important for your examination. So Kamikaze are also called as loitering munitions. They are unmanned drones that hover or loiter over an area and then dive into the target. They combine the feature of a drone and a missile, and they are usually one-time use weapons. They can be used against tanks, vehicles, buildings, or troop positions. They are cheaper than many missiles. They are harder to detect in some cases. They allow precision strikes with real-time video guidance. Okay. This is called as Kamikaze drone. Then RFID. So it uses radio waves to automatically identify and track objects when you are using fast text. So this is used in many societies also now. RFID stickers are being used. No physical contact or line of sight needed. We have types like passive, where no battery, shorter range and cheaper. Active, where there has battery and it can be used for longer range and more expensive. Fastex uses RFID on vehicle windscreens for automatic toll payment, developed by National Payment Corporation of India under National Electronic Toll Collection Program. Wi-Fi, so it is wireless technology using radio waves and range is 30 to 100 meter, does not require line of sight. We have discussed Web 3.0, Web 4.0, Web 5.0 in the emerging technology lecture. Complete lecture is there. Li-Fi, that is light fidelity, has also been discussed completely. Let's discuss it very quickly. So data transmission using visible lights is called as Li-Fi instead of radio waves. LED bulb serves as both light source and data transmitter. Requires line of sight, does not cause radio frequency interference. So it can be used even in hospitals, emergency wards, aircrafts, and nuclear plants. Then we have cellular generation. So 1G was analog and voice only. You must have used, your millennials specifically. 2G में digital was technology was used. So voice and SMS came. 3G mobile internet and video calling came. 4G LTE, high speed broadband. 5G ultra high speed. Latency became ultra low. 6G, which is upcoming, where we will have long-term evolution. 4G standard voice calls fell back to 2G, 3G. VoLTE voice over LTE. Voice calls as data packs over 4G. HD quality faster connection. Millimeter waves, very high frequency used in 5G. India 5G available in 99% of 9% of districts. Okay. Then we have IPv4 versus IPv6. So IPv4 is 32-bit address. IP address आप जानते हो 4.3 billion unique addresses exhausted globally, written as this format में लिखा जाता है. IPv6 will have 128-bit address, 340 undecillion address, practically infinite. We can store built-in security, faster routing, significance. IoT explosion is happening. So every smartphone, smartwatch sensor needs its own IP address. So we need an infinite one. Then we have VPN. So creates an encrypted private network over the public internet. Types are remote access VPN for individual or private network, side-to-side VPN for two private networks connected securely. Then we have personal or consumer VPN that masks IP, bypasses geographical restrictions. कोई app ban हो जाए तो people uses VPNs. These are shortcuts, or some channel or something gets banned because of their activities by the government for security concern, maybe any concern. Web 3.0. So Web 1.1 was read only. Static web pages were there, HTML. Then Web 2.1 came, then we can interact, we can read, we can write, social media came. Then Web 3.0, we will read, write on, and blockchain technology was also integrated. I have discussed everything in that emerging technology lecture in detail. Here I am revising it quickly. Cloud computing. So आपका store होता है everything ना at a remote position. आपको infrastructure रखने की जरूरत नहीं है, server etc. everything है ना. So Amazon की cloud services, Oracle, and all of these are there. Software as service. So Google, Gmail you use. So software as service, it can be modified according to your needs. You can modify it. You can have control, but you are not maintaining infrastructure. It is being provided by a company, Google. We have SaaS. So many types. Google Docs, DigiLocker is also a SaaS. Anyway, edge computing. So processing data closer to where it is generated at the edge, rather than sending to distant cloud servers. It reduces latency and bandwidth usage, enables real-time decision making. Application is self-driving car में use होगा, traffic management, Internet of Things devices and telesurgery. Anything which is used in a smart is Internet of Things. They two devices can talk to each other. ठीक है, दोनों में इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी होनी चाहिए. They can talk to each other without any human intervention. They can work. Your fridges, your smart watches, they are using that IoTs. Supercomputers are extremely high performing computers, trillions of calculation per second. And they are calculating flops, floating point operation per second. Applications, weather modeling, nuclear simulation, drug discovery, astrophysics, cryptography. Okay. Top 3 globally is Al Capitan in USA, Frontier USA, Aurora USA. India का है Airavat, PSAI, Param Siddhi, AI, Pratyush, Mihir. We had National Supercomputing Mission launched in 2015 by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Department of Science and Technology. Target of 70 plus supercomputers implemented by Center for Development of Advanced Computing CDAC. There is a Professor Bhatkal who contributed immensely. Indian Institute of Science and 37 supercomputers deployed with. Okay, the capacity will be very high, the petaflops capacity. क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग आई ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड. तो आपका नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर होता है वो या तो 0 होल्ड कर सकता है या 1. क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग कैन होल्ड बोथ 0 and 1 साइमल्टेनियसली. तो जो ऑपरेशन है वो बहुत फास्ट हो जाएंगे. इट विल बिकम वेरी वेरी फास्ट. ठीक है, साइमल्टेनियसली. तो इसी में क्यूबिट्स होती हैं. जैसे आपका बिट्स होता है नॉर्मल कंप्यूटर्स, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग में क्यूबिट्स होता है. दिस इज व्हाट यू नीड टू नो. ज्यादा नहीं इसमें समझना है, बस ये देख लो. क्वांटम चिप्स माजोराना 1 माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने बिल्ड किया है. विलो, गूगल, ऑसिलोट, अमेजॉन. इंडिया में QSIP क्वांटम रैंडम नंबर जनरेटर सिस्टम इन पैकेज. ठीक है, तो ये सब है. आपको थोड़ा सा देख लो. AI तो हम बहुत डीप में मैंने पढ़ा है. देखो AI को सिंपली यू अंडरस्टैंड इट दैट इट इज सिमुलेटिंग द ह्यूमन इंटेलिजेंस. अब प्रीवियसली क्या होता था, फॉर मशीन्स वी हैड टू कोड थिंग्स. कोड करेंगे, प्रोग्राम करेंगे, इंटरवेंशन वाज नीडेड, देन दे वर परफॉर्मिंग. नाउ व्हाट दे आर डूइंग इज दे आर परफॉर्मिंग इंडिपेंडेंटली and they are being trained with data, a huge amount of data. They are injected with data and then they are doing what human does. आप pattern recognize करते हो, you can listen to speech and all this. Identify कर सकते हो. If sound is coming, you can identify. Okay, speech recognition you can do, pattern recognition you can do, image recognition you can do. What normal human can do. All these can be done by AI. ठीक है, ये सबसेट्स होते हैं मशीन लर्निंग एक्सेट्रा. ठीक है, इसका सबसेट है मशीन लर्निंग. न्यूरल लर्निंग विल ट्राई टू इमिट लाइक ए ह्यूमन ब्रेन. ह्यूमन ब्रेन्स हैव मिलियंस ऑफ वायरिंग्स. So complex problems we solve. So if I am teaching you complex, my brain is working complex manner. Other part of brain may be working for a different thing, maybe thinking in a different manner. We are not working like in a linear manner, linear fashion. So उसको बोलते हैं neural learning. And then we have also general intelligence, which is trying to mimic the emotions of human. Google is trying to develop it. You are using generative AI, where you give command and according to the command, they are generating things like your write-ups or notes or images. Or these are called as Gen AI, generative AI, a subset of the AI. Okay, we can have narrow and broad. Narrow, which will work on specific things. Broad will work on a range of things. So this is what you need to know. It can have we can have use significantly in agriculture, in medicine, in terms of detecting your diseases. And we have different initiatives like BioMU by Microsoft, AlphaZenome by Google DeepMind to predict how DNA mutation affects gene function. We have generative adversarial network. Okay, so and these all are trying to work on the biological aspects as well. Then we have blockchain technology. तो ये देखो होता क्या है कि it's extremely consensus based. कोई डिसेंट्रलाइज होता है. एक आपने कोई भी एक ट्रांजेक्शन क्रिएट किया तो इट विल बी क्रिएटेड इन ब्लॉक्स, और जितने कंप्यूटर्स विल बी देयर दे विल ऑल ऑथेंटिकेट, देन इट विल बी स्टोर्ड. सो डिसेंट्रलाइज्ड है एंड ऑथेंटिकेशन नीडेड. अनस्टोर्ड इट कैन नॉट बी रिमूव. सो इट इज रिकॉर्डिंग ट्रांजेक्शन, इट इज मोर सिक्योर. ठीक है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड लेजर. And it doesn't have any single authority. It is immutable. It cannot alter without changing of all subsequent blocks. Transparency can be there. There can be cryptographic security. Each block contains unique hash of previous block, and consensus mechanism. However, it is energy intensive. It is used by Bitcoins. Now, proof of stake energy efficient used by Ethereum. So they are trying to build energy efficient ones also. Cyber security. So viruses, they attach to file, needs human action to spread. Worm self-replicate कर लेते हैं, more dangerous. Malwares, disguise, okay. Trojans disguised as a legitimate software. No self-replication is there. Ransomware will encrypt files and they will ask a ransom. WannaCry was an example. Spyware, it silently monitors and sends data. Bug introduce कर सकते हैं. Rootkit, that is deeply embedded in your OS and hides other malware, very difficult to detect. Then we have network attacks, that is distributed denial of service. It will flood the service, it will fail the service. Then we have MITM, that is man in the middle, intercepts communication. SQL injection, inserts malicious code in database input. Zero-day vulnerability, that is securing flaw unknown to developer. It is exploited before fix. Then Saul Typhoon, Chinese state-linked cyber espionage on US telecom operators. We have brain-computer interference. So it is technology enabling direct communication between brain and external device by translating neural signals into commands. We have different types like invasive, the BCI, like brain-computer interface. Then we have non-invasive sensors on scalp. Invasive क्या होता है? Electrodes implanted in your brain. There is a Neuralink which has been developed by Elon Musk, and then we have implantable BCI chips. It is aiming to restore vision by stimulating visual cortex directly. It can restore mobility, speech, vision. Okay. Military, hands-free, drone control, etc. It has a wide range of application. That 3D printing, though, we don't need a lot of cost and materials, etc. It is an adhesive technology. और इसका vast use है, vast use. You can use in healthcare. Like prosthetics were so costly. Now they have become cheaper. 1/10 हो गया prices. Surgical models, construction में it can be used faster and cheaper. Defense weapons and drones बनाने में. 4D printing में objects change shape over time in response to environment stimuli. Like heat, moisture or light से it will change. Fourth dimension is time. Internet of Things हमने देख लिया है. We have VR, internet. Okay. VR is virtual reality, completely replaces real world with full immersion. AR is augmented reality. So overlays digital elements on real world, like your Pokemon Go. And mixed reality is also there. Digital and physical objects interact in real time. Okay. We have India's indigenous 32-bit microprocessor presented in Semicon India. We have a project Waterworth, Meta's undersea fiber optic cable project. India's Mumbai and Visakhapatnam as landing points. Okay. SSI Mantra, India's indigenous surgical robotic system performed world's first cardiac telesurgery across 10,000 kilometers. नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी कुछ नहीं है. देखो 1 to 100 नैनोमीटर पे जो पार्टिकल्स होता है ना, कोई पार्टिकल है, ठीक है, कोई मैटर है, उसको इतना छोटा कर दो 1 to 100 नैनोमीटर्स, तो नाउ इसका प्रॉपर्टीज विल वेरी, विल नॉट बी लाइक द बिगर मैटर. टिल द सरफेस एरिया, द electrical conductivity, heat conductivity will change. This is utilized for having advanced drug. It can be used in machines. It can be used for your making your product more efficient. It can be used for water purification. Nano fertilizers will have more efficiency. Nano pesticides. Okay. So it has range of application. We can have nanostructure solar cells as well. अगर आप नेचुरल देखो तो नैनो मटेरियल नेचुरल होता है, वॉल्केनिक है, सी स्प्रे एंड स्मोक पार्टिकल्स. एक्सीडेंटल में डीजल एग्जॉस्ट एंड वेल्डिंग फ्यूम्स, वेल्डिंग करते हैं ना उसके फ्यूम्स. एंड इंजीनियर्ड में कार्बन नैनो ट्यूब्स, क्वांटम डॉट्स, नैनो सिल्वर्स, दीज आर डेलिबरेटली मैन्युफैक्चर्ड. वी हैव नैनोजाइम्स. So nano material with enzymes like catalytic properties. These are cheaper, more stable, easier to mass produce than natural enzymes. Indian Institute of Science developed artificial metal-based nanozymes using vanadium pentoxides. Then we have nano urea, which was world's first nano liquid urea. 500 ml bottle replaces over 50 kg bag of conventional urea. That's the efficiency. Applied as foliar spray. IFCO, world's largest fertilizer cooperative. And your nano DAP, nano diammonium phosphate replaces conventional DAP granules. It is setting up, IFCO is setting up overseas nano fertilizer plant in Brazil. And nano sulfur, developed at the TERI, the Energy and Resource Institute, using biological agents. Plant promoting bacteria, completely green production, increased mustard yield by 30 to 40%, has antibacterial and insecticidal properties. India की नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी इनिशिएटिव देखो तो नैनो साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी इनिशिएटिव लॉन्च बाय 2001 by DST for nano material research. Nano Mission 2007 flagship program under DST. Nano Technology Regulatory Board regulates consumer nano products. Indian Innovation Center for Graphene partnership is Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. Tata Steel Center for Material for Electronics Technology. ठीक है. Now let's see about energy. Energy sector is also important for your prelims examination. So traditionally, our maximum electricity comes from the thermal power plants, and they heavily rely on fuel as coal. So coal with thermal power plant are the majority in numbers in terms of India's energy landscape. And coal combustion leads to heat, heat leads to steam, steam gives the power for turbine to rotate, and that then it goes to a generator which generates electricity. Now, efficiency is 35 to 40%, 60% of the energy is lost as waste heat. There is coal gasification, so in that coal is reacted with steam and oxygen at a very high temperature using syngas. Syngas contains carbon monoxide and hydrogen. It is more versatile than solid coal. It can be used at various places. Then we have CBM, which is called as coal-based methane. Pure methane, which is trapped in coal seams, is called as CBM. And India has that in Jharkhand, West Bengal, MP, and Rajasthan. Shale gas, which is primarily trapped in the mountains, and it is extracted via hydraulic fracturing or fracking. It is primarily methane, and it has small quantities of propane and butane as well. India has shale gas sources in Cambay and Krishna Godavari and Kaveri and Indo-Gangetic basins as well. Now we have biofuels. So we have 4 generations of biofuels. The first generation is which is manufactured from your food crops like sugar, starch, oil seeds. Examples are your ethanol and biodiesel. Second generation, here it is generated from non-food biomass. Example is ethanol from rice straw or wheat straw. Third generation, it is advanced one. So from algae or advanced feedstock, it is manufactured. Algae-based biofuels are example of it. And fourth generation is genetically engineered organisms. So engineered algae or bacteria is the example of it. And we have a national policy of biofuels, which classified the basic 1G is ethanol and biodiesel, advanced as 2G and 3G. It allows the surplus food grains and agriculture waste for ethanol production. And we have viability gap funding as well for 2G biorefineries. Target is 20% ethanol blending in petrol and 5% biodiesel in diesel, which keeps on increasing. But I'm talking about national policy on biofuels 2018, literally what it had said. After that, we have advanced all the targets for the ethanol blending. Nuclear energy. So fission chain reaction, there is a fission and there is fusion. Fusion happens in our sun, nuclear fusion, constant reaction. Fission chain reaction where neutrons hits the uranium-235, splits it into fragments, and 2-3 new neutrons, energy is formed, triggers more split. It is controlled by absorbing excess nutrients with the controlled rods which are used in the nuclear power plant. Now, nuclear reaction releases 3 million times more energy than per kg of coal. Okay. The component as one is moderator, which slows down the fast neutronions to increase fission probability. We use as moderator heavy water, that is D2O, light water, H2O, and graphites. Then we have control rods, which absorbs excess neutrons to control or stop chain reaction. And we use here boron, cadmium, hafnium, silver, indium, cadmium alloys. Coolant carries heat away from the reactor core. Water, liquid sodium, and carbon dioxide, etc. is used. Then nuclear governance in India's program. So there is a international atomic energy safeguards are there, and system of inspection and verification to ensure nuclear material used only for peaceful purposes. Reactors using imported uranium are under safeguards. Imported uraniums जो use करा reactors that are under safeguard, and it has been already asked in a PYQ. That is the thing that you have to remember. The reactors using domestic uranium are outside. This is very important for your prelims. Then India-USA Civil Nuclear Deal in 2008 it was signed, which is also called as 123 Agreement, separated India's civilian and military facility. India can buy nuclear fuel and technology from NSG, that is Nuclear Supplier Group members, without signing the NPT treaty. Now, this was imposed on the countries like India, and if any country needs a nuclear weapon, legitimately, it is India, because India is between two hostile nations. Both are nuclear power. One is not a democracy, and second is a military dictatorship. So India is a legitimately needs this. And India has 3-stage nuclear program. The stage 1 is operational, where we use pressurized heavy water reactors using natural uranium. Byproduct is plutonium for stage 2. Now stage 2, which is transitioning, here we use fast breeder reactors using plutonium, which came from the stage 1, plus thorium. It converts the thorium-232 to uranium-233. Then we have stage 3, which is the future advanced heavy water reactors using uranium-233 from stage 2. India has 25 to 30% of world's thorium reserves. Which are found in our sands, beaches, not in every sand. Just in the entire coastline, thorium is found. It is wrong. Okay, uranium enrichment. So natural uranium has 0.7% uranium-235, low enrichment up to 5%. Civilian reactors, it is used. High enrichment up to 20%. Research reactors, weapon grade can reach up to even 90%. Depends on what kind of enrichment you are doing, and then nuclear weapons also are of a varied kind nowadays. Then we have nuclear fusion, mimicking like what is happening in sun. And we have the ITER, which is trying to mimic the fusion reaction. So in that, small atoms together are forced, like deuterium, tritium, are forced. It is like powering the sun. Okay, fuel is unlimited, no carbon dioxide, only helium byproduct. Helium is the byproduct. No long-lived waste, no runaway reaction risk. But challenge is must heat plasma to this much of temperature, that is 10 times hotter than sun's core, to overcome electromagnetic repulsion. Cannot use a physical container, uses magnetic confinement in a donut-shaped tokamak. That is why you will see tokamak word. Now, International Thermonuclear Experiment Reactor is the world's largest fusion experiment. It is located in France. 7-member entities are there. China, India is included, Japan, South Korea, Russia, USA, European Union. India's contribution is the cryostat, that is vacuum chamber housing the tokamak, built by L&T. Then cryolines, that is liquid helium pipelines for superconducting magnets. Now we have renewable energy and storage. So solar photovoltaic. Photons hit silicon semiconductor. That knocks electron becomes loose. Photoelectric effect. Electrons flow in one direction. Now, electron starts flowing in one direction, from which DC is generated. And solar thermal. So sunlight is heats the fluid, then generates the steam. Steam is now moving the turbine. Turbine is a generator, and AC, that is alternating current, is generated. Then we have pumped storage hydropower. So stores energy by pumping water to high reservoirs, generates electricity by releasing it back through turbines when demand is high. Then we have lithium ion battery. So in that cathode, that is the positive charge. Lithium metal oxides, NMC, also nickel, manganese, cobalt is used. Anode, which is negatively charged, graphite is used. Electrolyte, this is anode and cathode, this is electrolyte. Lithium salt in organic solvent. Black mass recovery, crushed end of life batteries, powdery mix of lithium, cobalt, nickel for recycling is used. Okay, this is you need to understand the anode and cathode and the electrolyte. That is more than sufficient. Then we have vanadium redox flow battery. So India's largest recently it has been inaugurated 2 tanks of vanadium electrolytes. Redox reaction in cell produces electricity, and this reaction is reversible. There is a certain reaction which are irreversible. Sodium ion battery. So Department of Science and Technology funded team developed SIB charging to 80%. Sodium ion battery in 6 minutes, lasting 3000 plus cycles. Sodium is more abundant and cheaper than lithium. So lower energy density, but good for stationary storage, lesser fire risk compared to lithium. Lithium has more energy per density. So that is why you can store large amount of energy and it can be used for a longer period of time. Then we have fuel cells. So electrochemical device continuously converting fuel, that is hydrogen plus oxygen, into electricity. Unlike a battery, it does not store any energy. Works as long as fuel is supplied. Hydrogen fuel cells, may anode is this reaction, which you don't need to remember, and cathode is this reaction. Only byproducts is water and heat. Microbial fuel cell is also there, where microorganism breaks down the organic matter to generate electricity. Then we have green hydrogen. Hydrogen does not produce energy by itself. It stores energy made using another resources like the gray hydrogen. Gray hydrogen from natural gas, steam, methane reforming emits carbon dioxide. Blue hydrogen, gray plus carbon capture and storage, lower emissions. Green hydrogen electrolysis using renewable energy. Okay, there is pink hydrogen electrolysis using nuclear energy. A national green hydrogen mission, which was launched in 2023. Nodal ministries, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Target is 5 million metric tons green hydrogen production per year by 2030. Then electric vehicles, specifically when there is a fuel crisis. So battery electric vehicle runs only on battery, no internal combustion engine is there. Hybrid electric vehicle, engine plus battery cell charge, no external plug needed. And then plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So engine is there, battery is there, and can be charged externally. We have fuel cell electric vehicle that uses hydrogen fuel cell to generate electricity. Only emission is water vapor. Now we have critical minerals. So what is the definition? Minerals with high demand, which has diverse application, will have higher demand. Plus it has supply risk. So it is geographically concentrated in some areas and essential for clean energy or sustainable solutions, electronics and defense. India list of 30 critical minerals released by Ministry of Mines includes antimony, beryllium, bismuth, cobalt, copper, gallium, germanium, graphite, hafnium, indium, lithium, molybdenum, niobium, nickel, platinum group elements, phosphorus, potash, rare earth elements, rhenium, silicon, strontium, tantalum, tellurium, tin, titanium, tungsten, vanadium, zirconium, selenium, and cadmium. Okay. Now, India's Critical Mineral Initiative, so Mines and Mineral Development and Regulation Amendment Act, MMDR 2023, enables exploration and mining of critical minerals. National Critical Mineral Mission is there for systematic approach to secure supply. And we have Khanij Videsh India Limited, which is a joint venture under Ministry of Mines to acquire critical minerals globally. We also have Mineral Security Partnership. India joined this USA-led initiative in 2023, and there are 14 members. That Silica, we already read it. Then we have NICU PGE sulfide discovery, India's first ever discovery of nickel, copper, platinum group element sulfide at Bhalupona, Jamnid block, Mahasamundra district of Chhattisgarh, strategic for EVs, clean energy, and defense. Then rare earth elements, there are 17 lustrous silvery white metals. Example are cerium, yttrium, neodymium, europium, lanthanum. Not actually rare in earth crust, but difficult to extract in concentrated form. The application says it is used in electronics, for phosphorescent screens. We use it in rare earth magnets, that is neodymium and magnets. Strongest permanent magnet is this, which is used, it is used in EV motors and wind turbines. Crucial for renewable energy. For defense, it is used in radar and guidance system, night vision, and petroleum refining catalyst. China controls more than 2/3 of global rare earth elements production and more than 85% of global rare earth elements supply chain. In 2025, China restricted the rare earth elements exports in retaliation to USA tariffs. India's reserves mostly in monazite sands along coastal states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and Odisha. Then deep ocean missions and Samudrayan. So deep ocean mission objective was to explore deep oceans for resources, develop deep sea technologies for sustainable use of ocean resources, supports India's blue economy. There are 6 components. One is deep sea mining and manned submersible. Second is ocean climate change advisory services. Third is technological innovation for deep sea biodiversity conservation. And fourth is deep sea ocean survey and exploration. The fifth one is energy fresh water from ocean. And last one is advanced marine station for ocean biology. We have Samudrayan mission, component of deep ocean mission, explore ocean at a 6,000 meter depth, that is roughly 6 kilometers, using manned submersible vehicle Matsya 6000. India will become the 6th country capable of human submersible missions. Recent milestones: so 2 Indian aquanauts dived to depth of almost 4 kilometers and 5 kilometers in the Atlantic Ocean. Aboard French submersible Nautel in collaboration with French Research Institute for Exploitation of the Sea. Only USA, Russia, China, France, Japan have previously carried out successful deep ocean crewed missions. Then we have other technology like Hyperloop. So magnetic levitation, you must have heard in the Japan, magnetic levitation. Magnetic levitation is there. This is the track super the train is going, and in Japan, Shinkansen bullet train, this was used, where pods travel at ultra high speeds through low pressure sealed tubes, theoretical speed up to 1,200 kilometers hour. Maharashtra signed deal with the TUTR Hyperloop Private Limited, which is IIT Madras startup, to build Hyperloop connecting Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, JNPT, Navi Mumbai to Vadhavan Port, using linear induction motor based propulsion. Okay, you must have seen that the bullet trains, no, they are, if the front you will see, it's like a bird's face. You see it. We have, no, this was inspired from how birds dive. So every technology that you see has some natural inspiration. Now, which bird inspired the bullet train? So technology specifically, can you comment and pause it and comment in the comment box? It's important. Which bird? Desalination technology. So heat saline water is evaporated, condensed vapor is formed, high energy use. So multi-stage flash, low temperature thermal desalination is there. India operates world first onshore plant at Lakshadweep. We use membranes like RO, most widely used, more energy efficient. We have Nameli seawater desalination plant, which is in Tamil Nadu. It is largest in South Asia. Recently, IIT Bombay developed hydrophobic graphene-based solar evaporator for desalination using only solar energy. We also have altermagnets, which is a new category of magnetic material discovered by scientists at Bose National Center for Basic Sciences using chromium antimonide in 2025. 3 types are there. We have ferromagnets, where all spins are aligned. Don't go deep into it. Okay. Strong, you just understand there is strong net magnetism. Everybody has spins aligned, so there will be every magnetic bar will get added. As understand. Then we have anti-ferromagnets, where alternative spin hoga. Okay, which cancels out, so no net magnetism. Then we have altermagnets like antiferromagnets, alternative spin, no net magnetism, but due to unique crystal symmetry, it's so intense internal spin polarization like ferromagnets. So यही difference है. Can generate spin polarized currents without external magnetic field, ideal for advanced spintronics. एक नया department हो गया spintronics. Then we have SODAR, which is sound detection and ranging. So it is a remote sensing technique using sound waves to study atmospheric condition, wind and turbulence. It sends sound pulse upward, monitors a returned signal. It determines lower atmosphere wind profile. It provides data on height of inversion layer, fog layer, turbulence, useful for aviation and pollution monitoring. We have biostimulants, so substance or microorganism that stimulate natural process to benefit crop quality. Unlike fertilizer, do not supply nutrients, and pesticide do not control pest. We have example like humic acid, seaweed extracts, liquid manure compositing. Okay. Regulated under Fertilizer Inorganic, Organic or Mixed Control Order 1985. The Ministry of Agriculture withdrew approval for 11 biostimulants derived from animal sources like chicken feathers, pig tissue in 2025. Satellite-based internet, so delivery of internet via the communication satellites. Lower Earth orbit may it is used and preferred over a geostationary orbit for lower latency. Key projects are Starlink, SpaceX, Elon Musk, Project Kuiper of Amazon, OneWeb of UK, Geospace Fiber of India. Communication satellite concept is that uplink round satellites and downlink satellite to ground. Okay, so first it will go to ground to satellite and from satellite to ground. There is a transponder, which is a core unit, which receives the uplink and amplifies shifts frequency, and then we have retransmits as downlink. So this is satellite-based internet. Now let's see some concepts related to biology, specifically biotechnology, health and life sciences. So we have bacteriophages. So good viruses that naturally prey on bacteria. 10 times as many phages as bacteria on Earth, unlike antibiotic, which has broad spectrum. Phages targets only a few strains of specific bacterium, very specific they are. Phages can evolve to overcome bacterial resistance, unlike fixed antibiotics. Application is it can be used in burns, foot ulcers, gut infections, respiratory, urinary tract infections. And there are two strategies. One is natural phages, that is isolate bacteria, identify a matching phage from phage bank, administer, and genetically engineered phages, that is modified in lab to expand range. No Western government has approved a phage as drug yet. Compassionate use routes exist. And then we have antimicrobial resistance because of the too much use of the antimicrobial drug, not only just by uptaking it for various ailments, but also it is widely used in your dairy farming and even in the other farming activities, etc. And that has created the misuse of antibiotics had created a resistant superbugs. We have different kinds of superbugs which has developed, which is E. coli for gut infection. Then we have Klebsiella pneumoniae, pneumonia. Okay. Then we have Acinetobacter baumannii, that is hospital-acquired infection. And we have a national action plan on antimicrobial resistance as well, One Health approach, because so many zoonotic diseases are getting spread and participation 20+ ministry. We have a hub as well established, Australia group. India is a member, international framework on biological and chemical weapons is related to it. Then we have DNA profiling and forensics. So DNA is a 99.9% identical between humans. The remaining 0.1% includes unique sequences called as short tandem repeats, STRs, that is used for forensic identification. DNA fingerprinting focuses on STR genetic markers. It is preferred because of variability among individuals. Except between the monozygotic identical twins, used for identification of human remains, comparing with the first degree relatives, paternity testing, and criminal investigation. Then we have Adfalcivax malaria vaccine. So ICMR announced Adfalcivax as a promising candidate vaccine for malaria, which targets Plasmodium falciparum, which is most common malaria pathogen globally. In India, malaria is mainly caused by Plasmodium vivax, and Adfalcivax is ineffective against this. Then we have chimeric recombinant vaccine, which uses different genes, part of Plasmodium to create target protein. Advantages over the RTS-S and R21 vaccines. You can use in the full length CSP protein, likely stronger immune response, may produce long-lasting immunity. Uses alum adjuvant, so it is stable at room temperature for 9 months. No chronic inflammation risk is there. These are the advantages. We have deep brain stimulation. So it is a medical technique where doctors implant electrodes deep inside specific brain areas to treat disorders. So electrodes are connected to a small device similar to your pacemakers implanted under skin in upper chest, used for Parkinson's disease, essential tremor, dystonia, obsessive compulsive disorder, being studied for severe depression and epilepsy. It is reversible, unlike destructive brain surgeries. Effects stop when device is switched off, works by modifying how groups of neurons communicate. Then we have IVF technology. So 8 healthy babies born in UK after procedure creates IVF embryos with DNA from 3 people to prevent inheritance of mitochondrial disease. The mitochondrial disease happens when mutation in mitochondria affect energy-hungry organs like brain. Brain is an energy-hungry organ. Heart, your muscles. Symptoms include developmental delays, need for wheelchairs, early death. MDT process is the mitochondrial donation treatment is called as MDT process, where Fertilize mother's egg with father's sperm, transfer genetic material from nucleus into fertilized healthy donor egg, where nucleus is removed. Egg now has parent's nuclear DNA plus healthy donor's mitochondria, which is implanted in womb. This is the method IVF. We have Cerebro. So, novel handheld portable non-invasive brain injury diagnostic tool. This is developed by ICMR and Medical Device and Diagnostic Mission Secretariat, AIMS Bhopal, several other NIMHANS Bangalore, and Bioscan Research. So it uses advanced near IR spectroscopy powered by machine learning, can detect intracranial bleeding and edema within 1 minute, safe for infants and pregnant women, can be used for paramedical staff. Addresses limitations of Glasgow Coroner scale, which is subjective, and imaging. It requires specialized infrastructure. We have lumpy skin disease, LSD vaccine. So, BioLumpy vaccine licensed by Bharat Biotech, Biovet, and developed with Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Novel indigenous live attenuated marker vaccine, single vaccination per year for cattle and buffaloes above 3 months old. Freeze-dried form, LSD caused by lumpy skin disease virus, belongs to genes Capri-Pox virus. Okay. That belongs to your family of Pox viridae, same as smallpox and monkeypox. Not zoonotic, cannot spread to humans, spread to by mosquitoes, biting flies, ticks, also through contaminated fodder and water. In India, almost 2 lakh cattle died, many lost milk production through this. We have xenobiology, which is a new branch of science studying how life could exist using biological system different from those on Earth. It examines alternative genetic codes, unusual chemical bonds, environment where water is replaced by methane or ammonia, and scientists have engineered bacteria with DNA, including extra letters beyond the natural, A, T, C, G. Application is program microbes to make drugs or break down toxic waste while remaining contained. And we have antagonistic antibiotics. That is, combining antibiotics can sometimes backfire. Antagonism means antibiotic mixture can be less effective than using a single drug. You must have seen a combined form of the antibiotics which you also take. Reason is that bacteriostatic agents which stop bacteria multiplying can prevent bactericidal antibiotics actively kill bacteria from working properly. Okay. Bactericidal drugs often target processes in actively dividing cells. The risk is using combination without benefit can contribute to creating the superbugs, and AMR will further increase. Then you have resin toxin. Protein extracted from castor bean. Okay. Seeds contain 30 to 60% castor oil. Resin accounts for 1 to 5% of the solid residue. Mechanism, it binds to ribosome, stops protein synthesis in cells. Multi-organ failure. No antidote or specific treatment. Treatment is symptomatic. Listed as Schedule 1 toxin under the Chemical Weapon Convention. Same list as nerve agents like we have sarin, and blister agents like mustard gas. Okay. Then indigenous gene editing, TNPB technology. So ICR has developed a gene editing technology using TNPB. Transposon associated protein as molecular Caesar. CRISPR is a Caesar. You must have seen gene editing Caesar. Already asked in your PYQs. An alternative to CRISPR has protein. Advantage is that TNPB proteins are much smaller. Okay. CRISPR-Cas technology are controlled mainly by the Broad Institute, MIT, Harvard partnership, and Kottawa Agri-Science, USA. Then we have GM and GE crops. So GM is genetically modified. G is genetically engineered, which is genome edited. G is genome edited. GM is genetically modified. Crops contain foreign genes from unrelated species like your BT cotton, Bacillus thuringiensis. Okay. India, no GM crops commercialized beyond your BT cotton, which is Bollygard, Bollworm seed guards. Already asking your PYQs. G is genome edited crops, only edit genes naturally present in the host plant. No foreign DA is involved. It is exempted from Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. MOFCC stringent biosafety regulations are there. We have GE rice varieties, 2 GE mutants of Samba Masuri and MT1010 identified for release after 2 years. multi-location trials. CRISPR-Cas9 used for editing drought or salt-tolerant gene in MT1010 rice and glucosinide transporter genes in Varuna mustard. Okay. Then we have BIRSA 101, CRISPR sickle cell therapy. So India's own CRISPR-based therapy for sickle cell disease, named after Bhagwan Birsa Munda, developed by CSIR and Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, that is IGI. Sickle cell disease is inherited disorder affecting your hemoglobin. Mutation in the hemoglobin, the HBB gene. Red blood cell becomes a crescent or sickle shaped, cannot move easily, impedes oxygen supply. Symptoms are painful crisis, anemia, swelling, frequent infections, stroke, vision problems, and kidney diseases. Then we have NEXCAR19, CAR T cell, India's first indigenously developed CAR T, that is chimeric antigen receptor T cell therapy developed by IIT Bombay, Tata Memorial Center, and Immunio ACT. It targets the cancer cell carrying the CD19 protein recommended for B cell lymphomas unresponsive to standard treatments, which are unresponsive to standard treatment. Patients with 15 plus years pediatric trial is ongoing. Process: patient donates blood, T cells genetically modified in lab in 1 to 10 days, infused into patients. Outcome: almost 70% patients respond, 50% achieve complete response. Minimal cytokine release syndrome. India is one of the first developing countries with an indigenous CAR T therapy. Then we have xenotransplantation. So transplantation, implantation or infusion of live cells, tissues or organs from a non-human animal into a human recipient. Genetic modification requires to prevent immune rejection. Now why pigs? So pigs' heart was used in human for 50 plus years. Anatomical similarities are there, widely framed, scalable. The key milestone is first genetically modified pig heart transplant into human happened in 2022. Gene modified pig liver transplanted into brain dead human recipient in 2025 in China. Then we have extra chromosal DNA, okay, ecDNA, small circular DNA fragments that float freely in the nucleus, separate from chromosomes. Formation is there is a chromothripsis, that is chromosomes shatter and reassemble incorrectly, leaving fragments deattached, or replication errors. Role in cancer: present in up to 90% of certain tumor types, brain tumors, liposarcomas, breast cancers, and often carries multiple oncogenes. Okay. You have oncologist treat it. Driving tumor growth and drug resistance, violates Mendel's law of independent assortment. ecDNA keeps genes grouped and passes them as a cluster during cell division, unlike chromosomes, which are distributed randomly. We have Ozempic. देखा होगा आपने, celebrities are losing weight, and Monjaro. So it is glucagon-like peptide 1 receptor against it stimulates insulin secretion, suppresses glucagon, slows gastric emptying, reduces food craving. And we have Monjaro, dual glucose dependent insulinotropic polypeptide and GLP-1 receptor agonist. Dual action provides greater effectiveness in blood sugar control and weight loss than GLP-1 agonists alone. We have Vidal test. It is used to diagnose the typhoid fever caused by Salmonella typhi. It detects antibodies against O, that is somatic, and H, that is flagellar antigens of Salmonella typhi through an agglutination reaction. Serial dilution of patient serum, highest dilution at which agglutination occurs, antibody titer higher equal to active infection. If it is higher, then more active infection. Gene silencing, so regulatory mechanism reducing or switching off a gene expression. No functional protein produced. 2 level, it can be at a transcriptional gene silencing, blocking DNA, that transformation of DNA to RNA. It's called as transcription. And post-transcriptional gene silencing, destroying or blocking the messenger RNA. Mechanism is RNA interference, RNAi, small RNA molecules, siRNA, miRNA, bind mRNA. Then we have DNA methylation and histone modification, antisense RNA. Nobel Prize 2006 for discovery of RNAi, application in agriculture, GM crops to resist virus or delay ripening. like flavor saver tomato delayed ripening by silencing a ripening gene. And we have transposons jumping genes, okay, genes that can move within the genome and reversibly alter gene expression, found in bacteriophages, bacteria, plants, worms, fruit flies, mosquitoes, mice, humans. Over 45% of the human genome consists of transposable elements. Most transposons have acquired mutations and become inactive. Significances influences gene expressions. Tools of evolution rearrange genome may help treat chromosomal inversions or deletion. Sleeping Beauty transpose became dormant in vertebrates millions of years ago, reconstructed from fish genomes. Synthetic version adapted for human cells. This is what you need to know. Okay. Now let's come to the third pillar, which is art and culture and history. So let's discuss quickly the important things. Jainism. So Jainism, the basic ideology is that in everything there is a soul, living or non-living. Jiva is present everywhere. According to Jain tradition, we have 24 Tirthankars. Okay, were responsible for the origin and development of Jain religion and philosophy. First 22, we don't know much, but we know about Parshana 23rd, who was born in Kashi, and Mahavira. Okay, and they are confirmed by with this text as well. Adinath or Rishabdev was the first Tirthankar and establisher of Ikshvaku dynasty. Parashna, the 23rd Tirthankar, son of King Ashvishna of Varanasi, believed in the eternity of matter. Followers wore white garments. Now let's read about the most important Tirthankar, Mahavira. So he was born in Kundam Grama, suburb of Vaishali, Bihar. Parents was Siddhartha, father, head of the Janatrika clan, a Kshatriya clan, and mother Trishala, a Lakshmi princess. Spouse name was Yashoda, left home at the age of 30 years. After 12 years of severe austerities, he attained the supreme knowledge that is known as Kevalya. He took title of Mahavira, the supreme hero, Jena, the conqueror, and Nirgrantha. Okay. Moved for 30 years, preaching in Koshala, Magadha, and further east, visited courts of Bimbisara and Ajatashatru, died or took nirvana at the Pava near Rajgiri, okay, Patna district, at the age of 72 years. Disciples were Indrabhuti Gautama, Sudharmana, founder of historical Jain monastic community, Jambu, that was last person at current age to gain enlightenment. 5 doctrines, main doctrines. One is the Ahimsa, do not commit violence. Satya, do not speak a lie. Asteya, do not steal. Aparigraha, do not acquire property. And Brahmacharya, observe continence, added by the Mahavira. Earlier 4 was not added by Mahavira. The 5th one is added by Mahavira. And we have 3 Ratnas, KFC. KFC से कैसे याद करना? Right knowledge, right faith, right conduct. And we have Anekantavada, a philosophy which is used in ethics also. So ultimate reality or ultimate jnana or truth is complex, and no single statement can describe the ultimate truth. So it provides much needed depth. When we have Syadvada, all judgments are conditional. You must have said, saw the elephants and blind men are there and they are touching the tail, they are touching the face, and they are making different judgments for the same thing. Glass is half empty, glass is half full. Syadvada. Jain council and literature, so there are Digambara and Setambara. So monks do not wear cloths, sky-clad, and monks wear simple white clothing called as Setambar. Digambar believe that women cannot be Tirthankar. Mali was a man, and they believe that women can be Tirthankar, and Mali was a princess. Follow all 5 vows, Digambara, even including Brahmacharya, but Svetambar, they follow preachings of Parashnatha, only 4 restraints. Main text, if you see, then we have Sutta Pahuda, okay, and we have Kashya Prabharita, and then we have Sattandagama, written in Sauraseni language. In the Svetambar, we have Angas, 11 surviving, 1 lost, Upangas, Mulla Sutras, Cheda Sutras. We have total 45 texts. Sects में अगर हम देखें तो दिगंबर्स में we have Bishpanthis who worship Tirthangars plus Yakshayakshini. It is prevalent in Rajasthan and Gujarat. We have Terapanthis, only idols of Tirthankars. Then we have Taranapanthi, no idol worship. Shrines equal to Chayalyas with books. For Svetambar, we have Stanakwasi, pray to saints, not idols. We are Muhpatti. Would have seen Muhpatti. Murti Pujaka, temple worship, no Mukpatti. And subdivided into Gachas. Terapanthi similar to Stanakwasi. Okay. Now, first Jain Council happened in 300 BCE. under the presidency of Stulbhadra, patron of Chandragupta Maurya, in Patliputra, Bihar, compiled Toilanga section of Jain canon. Second council, 512 CE, after a long period of time. President was Devaridhi Kashmish Sharmana. Place was Vallabhi. Final compilation of 12 Angas and 12 Upangas. There are some important Jain literature and practices like Acharanga Sutras, Sutra Kritanga, and Kalpa Sutra were earliest Jain text. Then Tattvavartha Sutra by Umavasti, important Jain work in Sanskrit on logic, epistemology, ethics, and astronomy, accepted by both Digambara and Svetambara sect. We have Mahapurana and Adi Purana written by Jinasena in 18th-19th century, Digambara monk. Then we have Sallekhana Santara, a practice where voluntarily fasting to death by gradually reducing food and liquid intake. We have a Pratikarmana, process of repenting for sins, 5 types: Devasi, Raya, Paki, Chaumasi, and Samvatsari. Okay. Then Ashta Mangala, 8 auspicious symbols in Jainism, especially Svetambara tradition. Swastika, Nandavarta. We have Bhadrasana, Srivatsa, that is endless knot, Darpana, mirror, Minya Gula, couple of fish, then Vardhamanaka, lamp, and Kalasha, that is water pot. Jain flag has 5 colors. Red is representing Arihant, yellow Siddha, white Acharya, green Upadhyaya, and dark blue Sadhu. Swastika in the middle represents soul's 4 norms. 3 dots above swastika is Ratnatraya. Curve above 3 dots, Siddha Sila, eternal abode of Arihants and Siddhas. Buddha. So Gautam Buddha, born as Siddhartha, born at Lumbini, Kapilvastu. Father was King Shuddhodana, mother was Queen Maya. Devi belonged to Sakya clan, born on Vaishakha Purnima, and is called as the light of the world. Married to Yashodhara, and son name was Rahul. At age 29, left on horse Kantaka with charioteer Chana. At age 35, under a peepal tree at Gaya, Bihar, again on Vaishakha Purnima. Okay, so he gained the Bodhi tree is there in Gaya. First ceremony at Deer Park, Sarnath, Varanasi, Dharma Chakra Parivartana. 5 companions were there: Kaudinya, Badrika, Vashpa, Mahanaman, and Ashwajita. Other names are Tathagat and Sakyamuni. Predecessors, Kashyapa Buddha. Successors, Maitreya Buddha. This has been already asked. Future Buddha. 4 noble truths and 8-fold path. So there are 3 Ratna, 3 jewels: Buddha, the enlightened one; Dhamma, the teachings; and Sangha, the monastic order. 4 noble truths. So Dukkha, truth of suffering; Samudaya, truth of origin of suffering, also called as Pratya Sampada, Hetuvada, etc. Nirodha, that is truth of cessation of suffering; and Marga, that is Dukha Nirodha Gamini Pratipada, truth of part to cessation of suffering. According to him, the world is full of sorrows, and the reason of sorrow is desire. We need to cess the desire and how we can do it? Through Ashtangika Marg, 8-fold path. So noble 8-fold path, which includes right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right meditation, right thoughts, right understanding. Madhyam Marga, the Jainism believes in extreme austerities, but Madhyam Marga, it says that neither extreme ritual asceticism nor extreme worldly pleasure. Buddhism rejects the authenticity of the Vedas, rejects the concept of soul, Atma, unlike Jainism, but believes in rebirth. The main book is Tripataka. Okay, the Vinaya Pitaka, which has a basket of discipline, oldest, smallest, regulates monastic life. 3 subsections: Sutta, Vibhanga, Khadanka, and Parivara. We have Sutta Pitaka, which is basket of discourse, extensive body of doctrinal texts attributed to Buddha, school using Sanskrit, divided into 4 agamas. Then we have Abhidhamma Pitaka, which is basket of special doctrines, words of disciples and scholars, not Buddha himself, not accepted as canonical by Mahasangika school or Sautantrika. Then we Jataka tells compilation of stories from previous verse of Buddha, non-canonical text. Other key text is Deepavansa, 3rd, 4th century CE, Sri Lanka, Common Era text. Okay. Pali Chronicles in talking about island history. We have Milind Pano, the dialogue between King Menander and Buddhist monk Nagasena. We have Mahavamsa, written in 5th century CE. Epic poem chronicles King of Ceylon. We have Buddha Charita by Ashwaghosa, Sanskrit biography of Buddha. We have Lalita Vistara Sutra, Mahayana text, Buddha's life till first ceremony at Sarnath has been depicted in this. 4 Buddhist council first happened in 483 BC in Rajgira. The president was Mahakashapa, patron was Ajashatru, Upali recited Vinaya Pitaka, Ananda recited Sutta Pitaka. Second one, 383 BC in Vaishali, Sabakami was president under King Kalashoka. 10 disputed points of Vinaya Pitaka resolved, split into Mahasangika and Sthavirvada. Then we have third, 250 BC, Patliputra, Mogaliputra Tisa presided and Emperor Ashoka was the patron. Compilation of Abhidhamma Pitaka confined to Sthavirvadins and Vibhajyavadins. Fourth one, the 100 Common Era, Kundalavana, Kashmir, Vasumitra was the head and Ashwagosha was the deputy. Under the patronage of Kanishka. Division of Buddhism into finally happened into Hinayana, Mahayana. Deliberations were in Sanskrit. Then we have school of Buddhism. So Hinayana is called as lesser vehicle of Theravada, which is orthodox school, follows original teachings and preachings of Buddha. No idol worship, aims for individual salvation, that is Arhatship. Ashoka belonged to this sect, uses Pali language. Theravada, the successor of Hinayana. 35.8% of Buddhists follow it, almost. The percentage don't cram it. Prevalent in Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand. Mahayana greater vehicle, so also called as a Bodhisattvayana. So Bodhisattvas are, they can attain liberation if they are dealing it for the other people. More liberal, believes in heavenliness of Buddha. Okay. Then believes in idol worship, uses Sanskrit. Kanishka is one like this was formulated in the fourth, na? So it is written that he was the partner, so founder it is written, but not purposely founder, but one of the first patronizing king of it. Okay. Then we have almost 50% of this population belongs to Mahayana, and prominent text is Lotus Sutra, Mahavamsa. 6 perfections are called as paramitas, which is Dana, generosity, Sila, virtue, Shanti, patience, Virya, energy, Dhyana, concentration, and Prajna, wisdom. Madhyamka is a sub-school based on Sunyata doctrine. All phenomena are empty of inherent nature by Nagarjuna. He is one of the greatest saints. Greatest. Then we have Vajrayana, that is thunderbolt vehicle developed from royal courts, sponsoring both Buddhism and Saivism. Main deity is Tara. Devi, combining Brahmanical rituals with Buddhist philosophy, believes in tantras, mantras, and yantras as faster vehicle to liberation, practiced in Tibet, Bhutan, and Mongolia. Then we have Mahasangika. So Vaishali monks, less restricted, first to attribute divinity to Buddha, represent him in anthropomorphic form, moved to Amravati and Nagarjunakonda, caves of Ajanta, Ellora, and Karle associated with Mahasangika, Kaitika. Their views foreshadowed Mahayana. Subsect is Lokattarvadins, wrote biography of Buddha. Then we have Stavira Nikaya, Stavira Vada, school of elders, subsects of Mahi Shashaka, Sarvasti Vada. Then Sankrantika, Sautrantrika, Dharmaguptaka, Vatsiputraya, Dharmotraya, Bhadranya, Sanagarika, and Samitya. He Bodhisattva Avalokiteshwar represents compassion. He is one of the 3 protective deities around Buddha, also called as Padmapani, appears in Ajanta caves as well, holds lotus flower. Vajrapani represents power, one of the 3 protective deities depicted in Ajanta caves, manifest power of all 5 Tathagatas. And Manjushri, wisdom, associated with wisdom of Buddha, wields a sword. Maitreya, future Buddha, will appear on earth in the future, completed enlightenment. Then we have Samantabhadra, practice and meditation forms a Shakyamuni trinity with Buddha and Manjushri represent meditation. And Kshitigarbha, depicted as Buddhist monk, vowed not to achieve Buddhahood until hell is emptied. Compassion for those in suffering. And Tara, associated with Vajrayana Buddhism, virtue of success in work and achievement, and is a female deity. Bhakti movement. So as Bhakti, so previously what was happening was there was a focus on rituals and it was becoming ritualistic. So the change happened like there is a personal God and I will decide how I will worship. And it started from the South India. There were poets and Saivite were called as Nayanars and Vaishnavite were called as Alvars. So Alvars were devoted to Lord Vishnu and collection hymns are called as Divya Prabandhanam. Nayanars devoted to Lord Shiva, hymns compiled by Nambi under Nambi in 10th century as Tevaram. So North India, the Bhakti movement gained the momentum from 12th to 17th century, influenced by spread of Islam, monotheism, equality, rejection of rituals. Influenced by, I would rather say that it also influenced the Islam rather than influenced by Islam. My viewpoint, as it is written in the textbooks, I have included, but it is something the relationship is both ways. You see Sufism, so it has many of the things which are there in the Bhakti movement, like meditation. Sufism is a liberal form of Islam. So this is a dialectical way that both are getting affected. Okay. Then we have Saguna Bhaktas, worship God with attributes. Like example is Tulsidas, upheld the caste system. And if you see the Bhakti movement is way more progressive, and it's not like it is falling from the sky or it is just getting influence from other religion. It is there in the Vedas itself. Vedas, if you see the Vedas, it's not talking about sectarianism or caste, and it's only in the later Vedic period only. And one of the Sukta, Purusha Sukta, which was interpreted, that led to the rigid caste system, which formed in the later, and it became rigid, more rigid, more rigid, more rigid. Then there was a person called as Adi Shankaracharya, and he found mathas, and he made possible that there should not be ritualistic practices. Further, it is divided into Saguna and Nirguna. So, Saguna, who worships idols, example is Tulsidas. Nirguna is worship God without attributes, like Kabirdas. Let's see the important Bhakti saint Shankaracharya. So, born in Kaladi, Kerala, propounded Advaita, that is monism. Brahmasmi, God resides within me. Philosophy and Niguna Brahman, Brahma system, Jagat Mithya, absolute spirit is reality. World is Maya or illusion, salvation through knowledge. Wrote Sri Bhashya, Vivek Chudamani, Bhaja Govindam Strota. These three are very important. Commentary on Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, Upanishads, established mathas at Sringeri, Dwarka, Puri, and Badrinath. Okay, then Ramanuja. She was born near Chennai, propounded Vishishta Advaita, qualified monism. He said, okay, yes, Brahma and the Purusha are not same. The Brahma has some Vishishta qualities which are not there in the common human. This is called as qualified monism. Founded Sri Vaishnava sect, God is Sagun Brahman, world is real but formed from Brahma. Okay. Brahma is equal to Vishnu, liberation through bhakti and self-surrender. Wrote the Sri Bhashya is accorded to Shankaracharya as well. Here also Sri Bhashya I saw in the books. Just to verify it is written by Ramanuja or not. Okay, I will verify it and I will alter it in the notes which I will give you. Okay. According to me, the Sri Bhashya was something which was written by the Shankara, Adi Shankaracharya. Nevertheless, I will update it. Okay. And Madhvacharya from Kannada region. Okay. So some says that Sri Bhashya was written by Ramanuja. Okay. This is also written in many of the textbook. Okay. Also called as Vedanta Sutra. Okay. Madhvacharya propagated Dvaita, that is dualism, the complete difference between the Purusha and Brahma. Okay, Jivatma and Paramatma are different. Okay. World, God and soul are all uniquely real. God, Vishnu stands separate from the world, founded Brahma Sampradaya. And we have Nimbarka, younger contemporary of Ramanuja, propounded Dvaita, Abhed philosophy. World and Brahma both equally real, but world is manifestation of Brahmin, founded Sanaka Sampradaya. Then we have Vallabhacharya, born in Banaras, lived at the court of Krishnadev Raya, propounded Suddha Dvaita, pure monism. World exists as an unchanged aspect of Brahman. Path was Pushti Marga, founded Rudra Sampradaya. Surdas was his disciple. And we have Baswana. There is a place called as Baswanagudi in Karnataka. His administrator, philosopher, poet, and he established Lingayata. Lingayata or Veer Shaivism was a progressive sect of that time. In the Shiva focused Bhakti movement, raised social awareness through vachanas or poems, introduced Anubhava Mantapa, hall of spiritual experiences, propagator of Vishishta, the propagator, not founder. Okay, literary works is Vachana Sahitya in Kannada. Then we have Vidyapati, 14th century Maithili poet, poetry dedicated to Shiva, addressed as Ugna. Then Bhakti movement in Maharashtra, Pandharpur movement, Sant Gyaneshwar. It is centered on Vithoba or Vittal. So Sant Gyaneshwar pioneered Bhakti center of Maharashtra, commentary on Bhagavad Gita, called as Gyaneshwari, and foundation of Bhakti ideology in Maharashtra. Followers are called as Varkaris, argued against caste distinction. You have Namadeva. Okay. Namadeva is a poet sent from Maharashtra. Varkari sect attracted people from diverse castes during bhajan sessions, considered both a Nirguna sect in North India and Varkari, Maharashtra. His Abhangas were included in the Guru Granth Sahib. Companions included Kanhopatra, Sena, Savata, Chokhamela, Janabai, Gora, Narahari, and Aneshwara. Then Sant Eknath. Bridge between Gyaneshwar Namdev and Tukaram or Ramdas ji introduced new form of Marathi religious song called as Bharud. Emphasized family life need not prevent spiritual life. The culture of Maharashtra is very, very deep rooted. Specifically, we see so many saints, so many texts and literatures. And when you come to the modern history as well, you will find so many great people, so many social reformers. Okay. So, we have Sant Tukaram, poet center. Okay, this fact is not important for examination, just written in the books. Part of egalitarian Varkari tradition known for Avangas, Dohas, because there is nothing called as caste. Everybody should be treated as equal, and only thing which should matter is quality. Okay, and there is greater saints than people like him, Tukaramji. Tukaramji has propounded so many things, and his, if you see his avangas and dohas and kirtanas, devotional songs are written immensely, and his poetry is devoted to Vithala, and contemporary of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, responsible for creating background for Maratha nationalism as well. So Sant Tukaram has immense contribution in the Maratha nationalism. Then Samartha Ramdas, devotee of Lord Ram, wrote Dashabodha, combining science, arts, and spiritual life, established ashramas all over India. North India Bhakti movement, you see, Ramananda played an immense role. He was born in Prayagraj, originally follower of Ramanuja, later founded own sect, preached in Hindi at Banaras and Agra, linked between South and North Indian Vaishnava Bhakti, abolished caste distinction among followers, worshipped Rama and Sita, founder of Ram cult in North India. Followers are called as followers were Tulsidas, Raidas, Kabir, Sena, Sadhana, Dana, Narahari, and Pipa. Then we have Kabir Das, 15th century. He's disciple of Ramananda, born near Banaras. Okay, raised by Muslim weavers. He said Banaras to Brahmin widow, and he was of no religion, he was of humanity. Denounced idolatry and rituals, and emphasized equality of men before God, reconciled Hindus and Muslims. Ram and Allah, temple and mosque are the same, strongly opposed caste system and untouchability. Bijak, best known compilation Kabir's composition, followers are called as Kabir Panthi, had written so many books, like, and so many dohas, you read now. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, first Sikh Guru and founder of Sikhism, born at Talwandi, Nankana Sahib, Punjab, Nirguna Bhakti sent, opposed caste distinction and religious rivalries, advocated middle path, combining spiritual and household life, influenced by Kabir Das Ji. Langar is a very, very important part of Guru Nanak Dev Ji's teaching, and Dadu Dayal, Major Nirguna sent from Gujarat, lived in Rajasthan. Dadu means brother, Dayal means the compassionate one. Believed devotion to God should transcend sectarian affiliation. Emperor Akbar was reportedly one of his followers. Reportedly, not confirmed. Followers includes the Dadu Panthis, set up ashram called as Thambas. Then we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so much in news because of the Bengal elections, 16th century, well-known saint, ascetic and social reformer from Bengal, also known as Gauranga and Vishambara. Disciple of Keshav Bharati, popularized Sankirtan or Kirtan system, grouped devotional songs with ascetic dancing, proclaimed universal brotherhood, condemned caste and religious distinction, accepted disciple from all caste forms of Vaishnavism he preached was Gudi Vaishnavism, biography written by Krishna Das Kaviraj. Then we have Narsi Mehta, Vaishnav Jan to Tene Kahiye Je Peer Padhai, he had written it and wrote songs depicting love of Radha Krishna, author of Mahatma Gandhi's favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan to Tene Kahiye. Then we have Saint Tyagaraja, greatest composer of Carnatic music, composed thousands of devotional compositions in Telugu in praise of Lord Rama, composed Pancharatna Kirtis, 5 gems, highly influencing development of classical devotional music. We have Shankar Dev Ji from Assam, first to preach Vaishnavism in Brahmaputra Valley, founded Eka Sarana Dharma, created new forms of music, Borgit, theatrical performance like Ankiya Nad, Bhavna, and dance Satriya, literary languages, Brajavali, and Purandardas from Karnataka, Haridasa, a philosopher considered the father of Carnatic music. Notable work is Dasa Sahitya introduced Raga Maya Malva Govla as the first scale taught to beginners in the Carnatic music. Practice still followed today. Stupas. So, Medhi is one element which is spire platform at the base surrounded by the Vedika, that is the boundary wall. Okay. We have Anda hemispherical dome enclosing a casket containing relics or symbols representing the body of Buddha. Armika is square railing atop the dome symbolizes a sacred enclosure represent the head. Yasti, central spire or mast represents the axis mundi, cosmic axis represents the crown. We have Chhatras, series of parasols above the Yasti symbolizing protection in Buddha's teachings. Toranas, ornate gateways aligned with the cardinal direction. East is birth of Buddha, south is enlightenment, west is first sermon, north is nirvana. And pradikshin patha, like your temples, we go in temples and do pradikshina. So sargamatli path around the stupa for ritualistic walkabouts. Stupa, you see, the Saririka stupas enclose relics or mortal remains of infant Buddhist figures. Example is Sariputra and Maudagalanya stupas at Sanchi. We have Paribhogika stupas, house objects or utensils used by Buddhist figures. Uddeshika stupas are constructed primarily for worship and devotional practices. Relic stupa built to bury bodily relics of Buddha or enlightened monks. Example is Sanchi stupa. Commemorative stupas mark significant events in Buddha's life, like your Anuradhapura stupa. Then symbolic stupas represent Buddhist theology. Example is Swayambhu stupa, Kathmandu. We have votive stupas constructed to commemorate visits or gain spiritual merit. Miniature stupas at pilgrimage stage. Major stupas of India, we have a Piprava stupa in Mauryan period, Uttar Pradesh, early example, and brick built, hemispheric, 49 feet high. Sanchi stupa, Mauryan to Sunga period, Madhya Pradesh. Most renowned Asokan stupa, originally brick, replaced by stone. 4 ornate gateways, Toranas with reliefs depicting Jataka tales, Buddha's life event. Southern gateway inscription credited King Satakarni and ivory craftsmanship. And we have Bharut stupa, Sunga period, MP. Main stupa no longer exists. Remnants in museum stone Toranas mimicking wooden structure railing with carvings of Yakshan, Yakshani, and we have Mahabodhi stupa in Bodh Gaya, Bihar, site where Buddha attained enlightenment. Emperor Ashoka built a Bodhi Manda here. Sunga period stone pillars with Jataka panels are there. Then we have Dharmarjika stupa or Takshila stupa during Kushana dynasty in Pakistan now, built by Kanishka, linked to Gandhara art, casket with gold and silver layers. Shikto-Parthian style can be observed. Dhamik stupa in Sarnath, Uttar Pradesh, Gupta period, believed to mark exact spot of Buddha's first sermon, intricate carvings with Buddhist motifs. We have Chaukhandi stupa in Sarnath, Uttar Pradesh, 5th century CE, where Buddha met his 5 disciples, octagonal tower added in 1588 CE by Govardhan, son of Raja Todarman. Then we have Amravati stupa, post-Mauryan, Andhra Pradesh, 46 km from Guntur on Krishna River, white marble, diameter 42 meter, height 29 meter, circular prayer path, carving of Bodhi tree, Dharma Chakra and Jataka tails. We have Nagarjun Konda stupa, post-Mauryan in Andhra Pradesh, distinct style, 2 circular walls, joined by spoke-like walls, marble panels depicting Buddha's life event. We have 8 classical dance forms of Bharatnatyam came from Tamil Nadu. It is the oldest form, classical dance with 2000 plus years of history. Origin was from Devdasis in temples, patronized by Cholas and the Pallavas kings, codified as a performing art in 19th century by Tanjore. Quatlet include Chinnaya, Ponnaya, Sivandama, and Vaidivellu. Considered a fire dance. So fire element is there. Forms are Alaripu, Jatishwaram, Sabdam, Varnam, Tillana, and Mangalam. Source text is Natya Shastra, written by Bharat Muni, and Abhinya Dharpana, Nandikeshwara, revived by E. Krishna Iyer, freedom fighter, global recognition by Rukmini Devi Arundale, Theosophical Society. Kuchipudi, Andhra Pradesh, originated in Kusilapuram, Krishna district, dance drama combining Nritya, and Natya. Everything is combined. It's a classical Carnatic music is played, unique. It has Tarangam dance. Dancer stands on a brass plate and moves it rhythmically. Jalachitra Nityam, dancer draws picture on floor with toes while dancing. Both Lashya and Tandava elements are important, and famous exponents are Radha Reddy, Raja Reddy, M. Nikrishna Murthy. Kathakali of Kerala, dance drama. Katha is story, Kali is dance, and blends Aryan Dravidian culture, evolved from earlier forms like Chalya Kuthu and Pudiyattam, Mudiyattu. Key elements are Kelivatu, evening announcement, Todayam, Parapada, Melapada, Kalasams. Elaborate facial makeups. Green is nobility, or virtuous person, and red is royalty, black is evil or wickedness. Man portray female characters trained in Kalaripayattu, which is ancient martial art of Kerala, symbolizes element of sky or ether. Famous exponents are Guru Kunchu Kurup and Kavangal Chanuthini Panikar. Now we have Mohiniyattam in Kerala, dance of the celestial enchantness, Mohini, female form of Lord Vishnu, born from fusion of Kathakali and Bharatanatyam. Solo dance, primarily by female dancers, characterized by graceful swaying movements, no abrupt jerks, lascivious style, movements like waves of sea and swaying of coconut palms. 24 hand gestures from Hasta Lakshana Deepika. And music is Carnatic, called as Sopanam style. Costume white and gold denotes element of air. First renowned dancer was Kalyani Amma. Then we have Odissi, which is sensuous and lyrical. From Odisha, dance of love and passion. Earliest precursor. Odhara Magadha style mentioned in Natya Shastra. Archaeological evidences from 2nd century BC, Udayagiri and Khandagiri caves. Maharis were the temple dancer and Gotibuas were male dancer in female roles, but traditional practitioners. Follows Natya Shastra closely two basic posture. One is chalk, which is max line. Weight is equally balanced. And Tribanga, which is a feminine body reflected at neck, torso, and knee. Elements are Mangalacharana, Batu, Pallavi, Harinjam. Theme is Gita Govind of Jayadeva. And Ashtapadi. Music is Hindustani predominantly and Carnatic also included. Denotes element of water. Then we have Manipuri. Manipur, mythological origins in cosmic dance of Shiva and Parvati, gained prominence with Vaishnavism, incorporates Tandava and Lasya, both elements, and cult of Radha and Krishna, central to the themes. Okay. Nagabandha Mudra, body connects through curving shape of 8 is important posture. 3 popular forms, Rasa, Sankirtana, Thangta, female costume is Patloi, main instrument is Pung, which is Manipuri classical drum, and famous is exponents are Javeri sisters. Then we have Kathak, Uttar Pradesh, combination of music, dance, and narratives named from Sanskrit Katha, originally performed by Kathakars, nomadic storytellers, and popular Kathak centered on Rasliya Braja. 4 major schools are there: Gharanas, Lucknow, graceful movements, Pandit Birju Maharaj, very, very famous. Jaipur, complex footwork, multiple spins, and Banaras Varanasi, Natwari bowls, founded by Janki Prasad. Then we have Raigad, emphasis on percussion under Raja Chakradhar Singh. Female costumes includes Gagra, Choli, Veli, Jugalbandi. Jugalbandi is a competitive play between 2 dancers. Dancer and tabla player, to be specific, is the main attraction. Dancer will dance on the change of the ragas by the tabla player. Okay. Then we have Satriya, Assam, introduced in 15th century by Vaishnava saint and reformer Mahapurusha Shankara Devaji, combined to Ankiya Nat, one act play. Traditionally performed only by male monks, Bhakots in Shatras, monasteries, now performed on stage by both men and women. Music is Borgis, based on classical ragas, divided into streams: Gayan, Bayanar Nach, and Karmanar Nach. Silk costume woven in Assam. Chow dance is in eastern India, semi-classical dance with a martial, tribal, and folk origin, a form of mask dance. 3 styles are there. One is Mayurbhanj Chow, which is in Odisha, Purulia Chow, West Bengal, and Saraikela Chow in Jharkhand. Natural themes like Sarpa Nritya, Serpent dance, Mayur Nritya, Peacock dance, mask integral in Purulia and thus the Saraikela styles featured in the film Barfi as well, inscribed on UNESCO represented the list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2010. Indian paintings. So we had read about European paintings a bit in the ancient medieval history. Let's see quickly the Mughal paintings. So Babar patronized Persian artist Bizat for Mughal family tree illustration. Humayun, great patron of the art, introduced Persian influence in Mughal painting. Akbar was the one who established the Tasveer Khana, which is a very important fact. And created illustrated manuscripts. Tutinama encouraged calligraphy. Prominent manuscripts were Tutinama, Tale of Parrot, the Hamzanama, Anwar-e-Suhaili, and Gulistan of Sadi. Jahangir is where the painting reached its zenith. Preferred naturalistic themes, flora and fauna, birds, animal, trees, flowers. Introduced trend of decorated margins around painting. Was a skilled artist himself, known for painting of the zebra, turkey, and cock. And also, so many of the paintings and portraits were found during the Jahangir. Ustad Mansur was one of the great artists. Shahjahan attempted to reduce liveliness, introduce stillness, influenced by European art, encouraged pencils for sketching, increased use of gold and silver, preferred brighter colored palettes. Aurangzeb did not encourage painting or any other art, to be precise, led to migration of Mughal court painters to provincial courts in Rajasthan, contributing to decline of Mughal painting. Then comes the regional school of painting. One is the Rajasthan or Rajput schools. Okay, several subgenres are there corresponding to basically states like Mewar school dominated by Sahibuddin, focuses on literary text. Okay, on texts like Ramayana, Bhagavad Purana, etc. Tamasha painting showing court ceremonial and city views. Kishangadi school associated with the romantic legend of Sawan Singh and Bani Thani. Bani Thani figure said to resemble the Radha. Bani Thani is important one and it has been asked in the UPSC party styles developed in sub-Himalayan states under Mughal overlordship, and two groups are there. One is Jammu Dogra group school, northern series, and Basoli Kangra school, southern school. So Basoli early face, expressive faces with the receding hairline and lotus petals eyes. Primary colors red, yellow, green. Kangra marked by sensuality and intelligence. Famous 12 months series depicting effects of months on human emotions is belonging to Kangra school. Then we have Ragmala paintings common across most Indian schools. Illustrative painting depicting Indian musical ragas of 16th to 17th century. Each raga personified by color depicts hero and heroine, Naika and Naika in a particular mood. Indicates season, time of day, associated Hindu deity. 6 principal ragas: Bhairava, Raga Deepak, Raga Sri, Raga Malkush, Raga Mega, Raga Hindola. Then Tanjore, Tamil Nadu, patronized by Maratha rulers in 18th century, created on glass and board, not on cloth or vellum. Use of brilliant colors and liberal gold leaf, use of gemstones and cut glasses for embellishment. Reached Janith under the Sarfoji Maharaj. And we have Mysore painting, patronized by rulers of Mysore province. Theme was Hindu gods and goddesses, use of gasso paste, zinc oxide plus Arabic gum for background sheen. Muted colors counteract the shiny background. Then we have company painting, which came in colonial period. Hybrid style combining Rajput, Mughal, and other Indian style with the European elements, employed by British East India Company officers for Indian painters trained in Indian styles, distinguished by use of watercolor, linear perspective, and shading, patronized by Lord Impey and Marquis Wellesley. Then we have bazaar painting, colonially different from company painting, took Greco-Roman influence, not Indian, prevalent in Bengal and Bihar, depicted Indian bazaar with the European background. Indian courtesans dancing before British official, religious themes, but Hindu gods with European human proportion was shown. Bengal School of Art reactionary approach to existing style uses simple color initiated by Abanindranath Tagore, early 20th century. Try to incorporate Swadeshi values known for painting Bharat Mata and Mughal themed painting. Nandlal Bose, notable painter, illuminated the original constitution of India. Rabindranath Tagore associated with this school. Dominant black lines and small size paintings were the hallmark of it. Then Cubist style inspired by European Cubist movement. Objects were broken, analyzed and reassembled. M.F. Hussain, Maqbul Fida Hussain, was a famous Cubist artist. Personification of Romance series, also a member of progressive artist groups. Then progressive artist groups used progressive and bold themes, amalgamated with softer abstract themes, lacked uniformity but inspired by European modernism. Founder was Francis Newton Souza. Famous members were S.S. Raja, H.A. Gade, and Ara and Maqbul Fida Hussain. Raja Ravi Verma is the originator of modern painting school, combined South Indian painting elements with Western techniques. From Kerala, dubbed Raphael of the East. Famous work is Lady in the Moonlight, Mother India, Ravan kidnapping Sita. Film made on him is Rangarasiya. Okay, Raja Ravi Verma. Some news: Deepavali is inscribed on UNESCO Untouchable Cultural Heritage list. Okay. India now has 16 elements on UNESCO representative list of untouchable cultural heritage. Then UNESCO Virtual Museum of Stolen Cultural Objects. Okay. Approximately 240 missing objects from 46 countries using AI-generated 3D models and interactive access. Indian artifacts featured were Nataraja figure, 9th century sandstone sculpture from Mahadev temple. Okay, Pali, Chhattisgarh, Brahma sculpture with 3 faces, 4 arms seated in Lalitasana. Then we have Harappan script. So IGNC hosted international conference in New Delhi on deciphering the Harappan script. Script remain undeciphered, not alphabetical. 375 to 400 signs, too many for pure alphabet, written from right to left. Most inscriptions short, longest contains 26 signs. Writing found on seals, copper tools, jar rims, copper and terracotta tablets, jewelry, bone rods, ancient signboards. Dholavira signboard has 26 signs, the longest one. Purpose was trade, tax record, identification. Some symbols may have religious or education significance as well. Sarnath, UNESCO World Heritage nomination. So India nominated the ancient Buddhist site of Sarnath for UNESCO World Heritage list. Location is near Varanasi, Uttar Pradesh. Alternative names is Rishipatna, Mrigadava, and Mrigadasya. 4 key Buddhist pilgrimage site is Lumbini, birth, both Gaya, enlightenment, Sarnath, first sermon, and Kushinagar, passing away, or Mahapari Nirvana. Okay. We have Chaukhandi Stupa, 5th century. Where Buddha met 5 disciples. Okay. We have already read this. Last major monument, Dharmchakra Jina Vihara, 11th century CE, built by Kumaradevi, wife of Govinda Chandra of the Gadwala dynasty. We have Sirpur Heritage Site, Chhattisgarh. So, Government of India preparing Sirpur Archaeological Site, the Mahasumund district, Chhattisgarh for UNESCO World Heritage nomination. 5th to 12th century CE, Common Era sites with 34 Hindu, Jain and Buddhist monuments on the bank of Mahanadi River. Capital of Dakshin Kosala under the Panduvanshi and Somavanshi kings. We have Lakshmana temples dedicated to Vishnu, 7th century, one of India's finest brick temple. And we have Surangatila complex, high terrace with 37 steps, just Panchayatan style shrines. Chinese Buddhist monk Hanzhang visited in 7th century or Hyunshang and described it as a thriving Buddhist learning hub. 1000 years of Rajendra Chola and Kodavallai system. So Prime Minister visited Gangaikonda Cholpuram, which is there in Arayalur in Tamil Nadu during Adi Thiruvitharai festival, released commemorating coin making 1000 years of Rajendra Chola's first maritime expedition. Rajendra Chola won titles for Gangaikonda Cholan after defeating Palas of Bengal and Kadaram Kondan, naval victories against Srivijayam Empire, Kedah, present day Malaysia, and we have Pandita Cholan and Mudi Kondan. Built Gangai Cholparam, new capital, and Chola Gangam Lake, that is Pannari or Golden Lake. Largest ancient man-made lake in India, and Gangai Kodna Chalveshwaram temple also built. Sri Lanka, so captured entire island in 1017 CE, Pandyas and Cheras conquered in 1018, Chalukyas defeated at Battle of Musky. What is Kudavallai system? So it is an ancient electoral system. Uttamerur inscription by Pratantaka Chola, world's earliest surviving evidence of formal electoral system. Very, very important. For example, ballot votes with palm leaf slips by drew names at random. Then village institutions, we have Sabha, that is Brahmadaya village, committees, Variums, and Ur, non-Brahmin village members. Ura. Qualification for candidates: own land, have a house, age 35 to 70, versed in Vedic knowledge, well versed in business, virtuous, that defaulters, alcoholic, and close relatives of sitting members were disqualified. These are separate one. It's not qualification, this disqualification. Then Raja Chola I, father of Rajendra Chola I, conquered northern Sri Lanka, Maldives, encouraged Sailendra ruler to build Chudamani Vihara, Buddhist monastery at Nagapattinam. Tamil merchant guilds Manigramam and Ayavole thrived under Rajendra Chola. A classical language of India, so Union Cabinet approved recognition of 5 more languages, classical languages. Newly added are Marathi, Pali, Prakrit, Assamese, and Bengali. Previously recognized 6: Tamil, Sanskrit, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and Odia. Criteria is that antiquity, 1000, 2000 plus years, body of ancient literature, originally literary tradition, not borrowed from another speech community. Then Dhirio bull fighting happens in Goa, traditional Goan sport from Portuguese era. Okay. It was banned by Goa bench of Bombay in 1997, demand to legalize citing Jallikottu precedents. Then we have Kolhapuri chappals and GI tag. So Prada inspired footwear controversy, Kolhapuri chappals, handcrafted in Kolhapur, Maharashtra, 12th to 13th century origin, vegetable tanned leather, T strap shape, GI status granted 2019, a district in Maharashtra and Karnataka. GI tag is intellectual property, India GI Act, which we have already read. Then Punjab, holy cities and Sikh Taqs. So Punjab granted holy city status to Amritsar. Anandpur Sahib, Talwandi Sabo, 5-6 Taqs are Akal Takht Amritsar, 1606 Guru Hargobind Ji, Takht Sri Keshgarh Sahib, Anandpur Sahib, site of Khalsa creation, 1699, Takht Sri Damdama Sahib, Talwandi Sabo, Guru Gobind Singh Ji finalized, Guru Granth Sahib, Takht Sri Harmandir Ji Patna Sahib, Patna Bihar, birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Takht Sachkhand Sri Hajur Sahib, Nanded, Maharashtra, site of Guru Gobind Singh Ji's final days and cremation, 1708. We have Ratnagiri Buddhist site. So Ratnagiri is called as Hill of Jewels. Your famous Hapos or Alfonso comes from here. Ruined Mahavira in Jaipur district, Odisha, between Brahmani and Virupa rivers, part of diamond triangles of Odisha. That is Ratnagiri, Udaygiri, and Lalitgiri. Unique distinctive hairstyles on Buddha sculpture not found elsewhere in India. Buddhism flourished under the Bahumakara dynasty. So Ratnagiri Hills is a renowned Mahavira in Jajpur district. So it is not the Ratnagiri of Maharashtra, sorry, okay? It is of the Odisha, okay? Jajpur district. There is a diamond triangle, Ratnagiri, Udayagiri, Lalitgiri. Parasanath Hill, Jharkhand High Court enforced ban on meat, alcohol, intoxicants on Parasanath Hill, known as Parasna Jains and Marangaburu, Great Mountain. Jains, huge significance, 20 of 24 Tirthankars attained Nirvana here. Many Jain temples. Central significance, Supreme Animist deity, Jug Jaher Than, Sacred Grove is the most sacred Santal religious site. Santal Hul of 1855, led by Sidhu and Kano Murmu, launched from here. Flashpoint, Sandra Festival, traditional ritual hunt by Santals. And we have Ponduru Khadi got GI tag from Srikulam region, Andhra Pradesh, made using hill cotton, Banasa cotton, or red cotton. Okay. Only place using single spindle charka with 24 spokes, Gandhi charka, very high yarn count of 100 to 120, extreme fineness. Then we have Raman Festival and Kashmiri Pashmina Raman Festival, UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage 2009, Uttarakhand. Multiform cultural events, stages Ramayana and local legends, a theoretical performance. Then we have 18 distinct masks made from Bhojpatra, Himalayan birch bark. We have Kashmiri Pashmina. PM Modi ji gifted two Ghana leaders who went from fine undercoat of Changthangi goat, that is Pashmina goat, raised in high altitude Ladakh. We have Drupad music, oldest extent of form of Hindustani classical music, rigid composition and rhythm, uses Rudravina, Pakhawach, Tanpura, contemplative lex tans and sargams. Dagar family traces musical roots to Swami Haridasa, Guru of Tansen. Important statues, the statue of Valor, which is in of Lachit Bhopukan in Assam, and statue of Oneness, Adi Shankaracharya. Okay, Om Kareshwara, Madhya Pradesh, statue of Equality, Ramanujacharya, Hyderabad, statue of Unity, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Kevadia, Gujarat, statue of Wisdom, Tiruvalluvar statue. Okay, Tiruvalluvar, Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu. Then Indian ascetics. So naked ascetics in India, Digambara, skyclad, earliest images at Mathura, Kankali Tila, Tamil epic Manimekalai by Silathai Sitana refers to Ajivika, and Nirgrantha, Barabar caves, Loma Rishikesh linked to Ashoka, 2200 years old for hermites, and Udayagiri caves carved by King Kharvela for Jain monks during rainy season. They are all talking about the Indian ascetics. Then artwork on constitution. So Nandlal Bose illustrated the constitution English version, which we have already seen. English version handwritten by Prem Bihari Narayan Raizada, flowing italic style. Hindi version calligraphed by Vasant Krishna Vaidya. Then Subika paintings, Manipur traditional paintings, intricately linked to the Meitei community cultural history, facing threat of extinction due to neglect. Okay. We have already read PEC Silica and Mineral Security Partnership, Five Eyes Alliance, Indian connectivity projects. These have been already discussed. Okay, and we have also now already discussed the science and technology, all these topics as well. Okay. These have been already covered, and we have also covered the art and culture, important topics also. Okay. Now let's see the government schemes, the comprehensive list. Okay. So the first one is the Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, launched 2018. Health insurance for poorest 40% families, 5 lakh family per year for hospitalization. We have Ayushman Bharat Health Account, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. 14-digit digital health ID links all personal health records, part of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission. We have Lakshya, launched by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, reduces preventable maternal newborn mortality, improves labor room and maternity operation theatre quality, certified via National Quality Assurance Standard. Facilitates scoring more than 70%, Lakshya certified. Then we have Telemanas, tele-mental health assistance and networking across and under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, toll-free mental health helpline, part of National Mental Health Program. Okay, implemented by NIMHANS, National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, Bangalore. GeoParsi, Ministry of Minority Affairs, launched 2013-14, arresting decline Parsi population, financial medical supports for fertility treatment, childcare, and more than 400 buses are facilitated under this. And Rashtriya Vayashri Yojana, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, launched in 2017, provides assistive devices to BPL Implemented by LIMSCO, that is Artificial Limb Manufacturing Corporation of India, 30% beneficiary parties must be women. Atal Vayu Abhyudaya Yojana, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, provides elderly homes, continuous care centers, mobile medical units for senior citizens. We have PM Janman, that is Pradhan Mantri Janjati Adivasi and Nyaya Mahabhiyan, multi-ministry, 17 ministries, launched October 2024. 5 crore plus tribal people, 63,000 villages, budget is 79,156 crores, center 56,333 crores, states 22,000 plus crores. Agriculture Infrastructure Fund under Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, it is a central sector scheme. Rupees 1,000 crore for post-harvest management, infrastructure and community farming, etc. We have PM National Farming Mission, Ministry of Agriculture and Farmer Welfare. 15,000 cluster, each 1 crore family, 10,000 bio input resource centers. We have Samudrayan under Deep Ocean Mission, Ministry of Earth Science. Manned submersible Matsya 6,000 to explore 6,000 meter depth. PM Wani, Ministry of Communication, launched 2020, promote public Wi-Fi hotspots in especially in rural area, ecosystem public data office, video aggregator, app provider, central registry. And we have TULIP, Traditional Artisan Upliftment Livelihood Program, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, empowers artisans from scheduled caste, OBCs and sanitation workers, disabled, online marketplace under TULIP brand, eliminates intermediaries, promote global sales. We have SVEP, Startup Village Entrepreneurship Program, Ministry of Rural Development, launched in 2014, focus on 3 pillars: finance, incubation, skills, build CRPEPs, that is Community Resource Persons Enterprises Promotion. Sankalp, which is skills acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Launched in 2020, target SC, OBCs, EWS, denotified tribes, Safai Mitras, skill training with stipend, rupees 1,000 to 1,500. We have Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana under Ministry of Rural Development, launched in 2014. MPs develop 5 others grams by 2024, target villages with 3,000 to 5,000 population, and in hill area 1,000 to 3,000. We have Akansha, that is Ministry under Ministry of Consumer Affairs, indigenous local products from 500 aspirational blocks mapped under brand Akansha. Dedicated window on government marketplace portal under Vocal for Local. Viksit Bharat 2047, Government of India, vision to transform India into developed, self-reliant nation by 2047. Centenary of Independence focuses on economic growth, human resource, infrastructure, sustainable growth, good governance, inclusive growth, and global leadership. Then we have Satat, sustainable alternative towards affordable transportation under Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, launched in 2018, promotes compressed biogas production. Target is 5,000 compressed biogas plants by 2025. Okay, then we have National Mission for Manuscripts under Ministry of Culture, and it identifies, documents, conserves, makes accessible India's manuscript heritage. Over 1 crore manuscripts are there. Nudge, non-intrusive use of data to guide and enable. Ministry of Finance. CPT promotes voluntary tax compliance using data-driven communication, targets taxpayer not reporting foreign assets. Okay. Then we have Earth Scheme under Ministry of Earth Science, subsumes across OSMART, PACER, SAGE, Reach Out. It aims to understand Earth's vital signs through atmosphere, ocean, geosphere, cryosphere, and solid Earth observation. Then we have NFSU, National Forensic Science University, under Ministry of Home Affairs, establishment of new NFSU campuses and central forensic labs. It is a central sector scheme, 100% funded by Union Government. Vivad Se Vishwas, Ministry of Finance, launched in 2024, voluntary settlement scheme for long-standing contractual disputes with government agency, implemented via GM portal. Then we have Sanchar Mitra scheme, Department of Telecommunication, promotes digital safety, cyber fraud prevention, responsible mobile usage, EMF radiative awareness through student voluntariness. Volunteers, the Sanchar Mitras focus on 5G, 6G or AI cyber security. Okay. So we have covered all the scheme as well. Some schemes which are remaining. We have now made a separate PDF for you as well, giving more and more details as well. Some deeper detail which you can read in the notes. Okay. Like Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, Ministry of Finance, 2013, provides loan up to 10 lakh to non-corporate, non-farm, small, micro enterprises. 3 categories: Shishu, Kishore, and Tarun. I had covered all these in economy, so that is why I'm not repeating. Okay. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, Ministry of Women and Child Development. Multi-sectoral programs launched in Panipat, Haryana, addresses declining child sex ratio. 3 ministry convergence is required: Women and Child Development, Health and Family Welfare, and Education. prevents sex selective elimination, promotes girl child education, ensures girl child survival. One stop center, Sakhi, Ministry of Women and Child Development, integrated support services for women affected by violence both in private and public spaces. Provides police facilitation, medical and legal aid, psychosocial counseling, shelter, video conferencing, funded 100% by central government under Nirbhaya Fund. Then we have Mission Shakti, Ministry of Women and Child Development, umbrella scheme, subsuming all women safety and empowerment scheme. There are two sub schemes, Sambal, that is for safety and security, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, one stop center, women helpline, Mahila police volunteers. Then we have Samarthya, that is for empowerment. It includes Ujjwala, Swadhargri, working women hostel, and national crutch schemes. We have PM Poshan, that is Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman, under Ministry of Education, formerly known as Midday Meal Scheme, provides one hot cooked meal per school day to students from class 1 to 8th in government and government aided school, renamed to PM Poshan. Initiative for Women in Science of various ministries. We have the Gyan Jyoti, Department of Science and Technology, supports high school girls to pursue STEM. Okay, then Gati, Gender Advancement for Transforming Institutions. Okay, we have several other schemes as well. Now, National Supercomputing Mission, which we had read, building 70 plus supercomputers. National Quantum Mission, we have already read this as well. Okay, so develops indigenous capabilities quantum computing. Then Bharat program, government funded multimodal large language model initiative, develops generative AI technology tailored for India's linguistic, cultural, and socio-economic diversity. India specific AI for multiple Indian language. Then Bhashini project, National Language Translation Mission, under Ministry of Electronics Information Technology, AI powered language translation platform, enabling easy access to digital services and content in Indian language. Part of National Language Translation Mission, nodal ministry is MEITI. Then Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, short-term skill training and recognition of prior learning. Recognition of prior learning is a very important component, and it has components like certified skill of informally trained workers, industry-led training centers, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Kendra set up across the country. Sankalp, which we had read, okay, already. TULIP, Urban Learning Internship Program, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and Ministry of Education provides internship opportunities to fresh graduates at urban local bodies and smart cities, links India's 4,800 plus urban local bodies with 35,000 plus higher education institutions distinct from TULIP. Traditional Artisan Scheme, both acronym exist. Okay, both acronym exist. PM E-Vidya, Ministry of Education, multimodal access to digital online education. Components are Diksha, that is digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing portal. PM E-Vidya TV channels. You must have heard about Prabha DTH. We have community radio, special content for children with disabilities, launched as part of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We have a National Green Hydrogen Mission under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy to make India a global hub for green hydrogen production, use and export. Okay, target is 5 million metric tons green hydrogen production per year by 2030. PM Kushum, Pradhan Mantri Kisan Urja Suraksha Evam Uttam Mahabhiyan, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. 3 components. Component A, grid connected solar power plants on barren fallow land by farmers. Component B, standalone solar powered agriculture pumps. Component C, solarization of grid connected agriculture pumps. Target is 30.8 gigawatt solar capacity by 2022. Extended now, reduces diesel consumption in irrigation. Then Satat, we have already read. Okay. International Solar Alliance, so treaty-based intergovernmental organization. Headquarters is Gurugram, Haryana. India and France are co-founders, aims to deploy more than 1,000 gigawatt solar energy and mobilizes more than $1 trillion for solar investment by 2030. Focuses on sunshine countries between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. We have FAME, that is faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicle under Ministry of Heavy Industries. FAME 2, 10,000 crores, promotes adaptation of electric vehicles, supports EV manufacturing ecosystem, subsidizes electric two-wheelers, three-wheelers, buses, setups, EV charging infrastructure. FAME 3, expected continuation. PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, rooftop solar panels on 1 crore households, and then we have provided up to 300 units of electricity per month, subsidy 78,000 per household. For defense, we have integrated missile development program, which you have read, Mission Sudarshan Chakra, that is India's comprehensive air defense shield. PM Modi announced on Independence Day 2025, shield and sword. This also we had read in defense project. Then Project Kusha of DRDO, India's ambitious indigenous long-range air defense system. India's answer to Russian S-400 Triumph and American MIM-104 Patriot. In Indrajal, Ministry of Defense Okay, this also we have read. India's first indigenous AI-powered automated anti-drone defense dome. And National Forensic Science University (NFSU) addresses the rising demand for forensic science laboratories, establishes new NFSU campuses, and Vivas resource we already read. BharatNet for Ministry of Communication connecting all Gram Panchayat 2.5 lakh plus with high speed the broadband. Okay. PM Janman targets 5,000 travel ways with BharatNet connectivity. We have DigiLocker. You must have used it. Secure cloud-based platform for storage, sharing, verification, government-issued documents and certificates. Integrates with Aadhaar. Document issued directly by government agencies are considered authentic, original. UPI, National Payment Corporation of India, which you have read in the economy section as well. UPI Lite is for payment for small value transactions. FASTag we have read. CoWIN was important earlier. Digital platform registration issued in COVID-19 vaccine. ONDC. Decentralized digital commerce network using open protocols, democratize e-commerce by allowing any seller buyer app to participate interoperably and counterbalances the monopoly of large e-commerce platforms. So I have made a table as well for your quick revision. Fatapat so you can revise here. This is how you can finish it. Now we have done all the videos of last lab series. For the last 1 month, I'm working very, very hard for bringing videos. All I want is that you all succeed. And after you succeed, message me and comment on these videos. Come here, how it helped you all. And I'm sure it will help you. And I wish that each one of you clear the examination. We'll have one more video where we will release a master video for combining all kinds of the short tricks and short methods and logics in one video, which you can watch, and it will revise everything which is scattered across so many YouTube videos and courses which are sold, and it will be so crisp which you can revise. It will help you a lot. Okay. Thank you very much. Take care.